This is your friend Chad. I'm trying to listen in. There's no audio. There's no audio. That's why I was calling in to let you know. Yeah, there's no audio. I tried listening to it on my phone, and then I have it on the TV right now. There's nothing. This is your friend. Oh, okay. Now I can hear it. Now I can hear it.
Wait, wait, can you hear us talking or just yourself?
I just now was able to hear you guys, but for the last like 5, 10 minutes, I couldn't hear you guys.
Okay.
Were you
Well,
watching on YouTube?
Yeah, I was watching on YouTube.
Fuck. Well, at least we have it recorded, right,
yeah,
Manny? So we can
maybe
put it up.
somewhere.
What do you mean? We're recording here. It's recorded.
I don't know what went into where, so maybe nothing that we said was that gold.
Yes, it was. I
It,
liked everything I said.
well, that's fair, but nothing that we said was that
Well,
gold.
you know what? You could.
That's the more discerning gear of the podcast.
Why do you determine that?
I just didn't
I
want it to be where you guys record for 2 hours, and I was like, wait a minute, we
No, no,
can't
no.
hear
You're very
anything now.
helpful.
yeah, no,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Chad. We really appreciate it.
Stay
It's
on the
fun.
line, but I want to
Of
ask Manny
course.
something. Call in studio. It's definitely there, right?
And I don't know if it's there or
All
not.
right.
I don't know where it is, or is it. There's a good chance that it's not
But
there
why
at
does he
all.
hear? But why does he hear us now, though? What changed?
I,
Oh, you press that button.
well, he's been on the phone with us, so maybe it's probably there. It's probably somewhere, but I don't know where it is,
All right,
and
fuck.
I
Yeah,
don't care that
when I
detail.
called in, I was able to hear you guys, but I wasn't able to hear you guys like outside of that. I was like, oh, let me see if I
You
can
only
call
heard
them
us
and
on
see
the
if I can
Yeah,
speaker.
actually.
so then it's definitely on
Yeah.
the online website.
Okay, so at
And
least we got. All right,
yeah,
good.
we've got Zoom recording. It's probably on the Zoom
All right,
audio.
thank God, thank God.
Yeah,
Thanks
but
for letting us know,
it,
Chad. But
it,
now it's working, right?
Oh,
Chad, what you missed was me convincing Dennis to tell us all of his security question answers.
Yeah.
So
Where I was born, my mom maiden name, like what the
yeah,
street I grew up on, all that kind of stuff. Uh,
to be honest with you, as someone that's watched the last couple episodes, I've been waiting to see. I know you guys wanted to show the video of Dennis
oh
handling
yeah,
hecklers. I was
we'll
like,
do it. We'll
where
do
is
it.
that video? I was like, I wanted to see that in
Oh
action.
yeah, we'll do it today. That's exactly what we're planning to
yeah,
do.
that's
By the way, Chad, this is crazy. Chad lives also in. So Chad lives where I grew up, the street where my parents live now, Durham Place. Chad lives right there. He's their neighbor.
oh nice.
Yeah, we got
Yep.
another call by the way. But so that's where Chad lives. So check him out, everybody.
We don't have another call.
Yeah, we do. Who's 302, fool?
Uh,
Oh, that's us.
yeah,
Oh, my bad. Anyway, so Chad lives in Durham Place. He has a dog named Dexter. About 90 pounds. How big is Dexter?
Almost, yeah. He's like 85 pounds. He's a big
Big
boy.
boy, strong boy, very sexy.
Yeah.
Not to me, to my dog. No, I'm not. They never met. No, they did meet. You met. My dad says he sees you when he walks sometimes.
Yeah, I do see your dad, and I have seen Vampire Bill a couple times.
My dad said that Vampire Bill did not react kindly to Dexter.
Unfortunately, not. Dexter went like near him to try to be friendly, but Vampire Bill wasn't having it. So I was like, oh, all
Yeah,
right.
he's like me, kinda.
Dennis, I know you feel like everything you say is captivating, but this is literally just a phone call that you guys could have off air.
We never do though. But
That's not my fault.
okay.
All right, so
Sorry, Chad. Manny's a grumpy cat. Of course, whatever.
I'm
Ah,
trying.
it's good. I just like I said, I just wanted to
No.
call. I wanted to
Yeah.
call in to let you
Thank
guys
you,
know
Chad.
so that way.
Wait, 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 wait,
I
wait,
think it
wait,
was the
Chad.
first episode.
Sorry,
So,
plug all your information. Tell everybody where they can find you online. All your movie stuff.
oh yeah. So my first name Chad, and then last name Saborin, Sabourin. You can look me up on YouTube, Letterbox, Instagram. More than willing to talk about movies. Do want to talk about movies with Steve sometime because I see he has some hot
Yeah.
takes. Um,
Oh yeah.
but I'll of course be listening to the rest of the podcast.
I
Cool.
And it was
appreciate
good
it.
meeting
Thank
you,
you.
Manny.
Thank you. You too. You can stay online if you want. I was gonna say we're definitely about to go.
Yeah, we're about to play the reactions. I mean the clips and react. So if you stay online, you can give your reactions to them on air too if you want.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Also,
Yeah, let me
that's
Let me
on you.
get the
But
TV on in that case.
since,
Yeah, if you watch it, you can then see it as well as hearing it. Yeah.
since you're a movie
Yeah,
guy,
because I'm assuming who was filming you during the heckling?
I set up a tripod and I just film myself every set I do.
every single
Oh,
set
cool.
you do.
As much as I can, unless like there's something's broken. But yeah, other than I have a whole database. I have a whole Google folder with all my open mics, like 100.
I've never seen you not filming. Do you go back and watch them every time?
Yeah, I watch it after every time. I don't really go back a lot after that, but I do watch it every time after. And then sometimes I go back if I need to send a tape, or if I want to make a clip or something.
So you use them to send tapes and make clips. Do you like go back and be like, I could have
of
wrote
course.
this joke?
Yeah. My timing, my delivery, performance, all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you're the type to just
Oh,
to watch yourself on stage and
Oh,
just be
side
jacking
note.
off to it.
Well, that too. I love when I'm having a bad day, like work's boring, I'm drained. I watch my own clips and it makes me happy. It gives me dopamine, and I get so happy. I'm like, damn, I look so cool on
I
stage.
killed it.
When I don't do well, but if I do well, I'm just so proud of myself. Sometimes I record myself just saying something, like an explanation of something, and I listen back, and I'm just like, damn, I explained that so well. You know? Some of us love ourselves, Manny.
What was the last thing that you explained yourself? That you explained to yourself. So it's like a self-help thing, but for you.
Yeah, well, I imagine what it would be like if I was really famous and everybody was hearing this and commenting on it. I don't know. I used to do this sometimes. I used to make it on Instagram. I guess not, but I made these videos like talking about current issues and stuff. Like for the 2020 election, I did one, and I talked about. I have some on YouTube, on my Facebook from years ago where I did like Hillary Clinton versus Trump debate. I reacted to. I did like stuff about the Eminem cipher, the BT cipher. There's a lot of political
You
stuff.
should do one for the 2020 election.
I don't really have as much to say for that one, but you know.
Say, if you're recording all these videos just for the fuck of it, you should be posting them.
No, you're right. I have posted it. Yeah, I got some on my Facebook from a long time ago. I did some on like race relations.
What's the most recent one that you recorded just for yourself?
I don't remember. I guess not in a while, but I used to do that more. Not because I didn't have the outlet of comedy or a podcast, but now that I have that, I you know what I'm saying. That's where I let it out.
Okay, you know the premise of the podcast, as I pitched it to you, was supposed to be us arguing about stuff, not you on your soapbox.
Alright, but
everything about your life.
But you're the one asking me questions. What am I supposed to not answer them?
I mean, you're answering questions that having a healthy back and forth, but I'm just saying, like, if you've got ideas that are like political ideas,
But they're from years ago. They're not relevant today.
Okay, I'm not talking.
You guys are awesome. You guys are like a couple.
Thank you. You know what I don't? Sometimes Manny, I feel like Manny, you're like confusing sometimes because you say something's fine, and then I find out like later, like, oh, by the way, you actually weren't fine with it, but you said it was fine, and then you're like mad at me, and I'm like, when you said it was fine.
Do I say something is fine and then turn back on it later?
Like when I was reading you the pin code to type into Zoom.
I never said that was fine.
Well, you didn't say it wasn't fine, so I thought it was.
Because I thought that a sane person would stop doing it. I
should
mentioned that I could read it, and then you kept doing it, and I said it's not fine because I realized it was going to be a habit of you. You know, it was.
I know, but
I recognized the pattern with my high intellect, and I said, Dennis, we'll continue doing this unless I ask him to stop. So then I asked you to stop.
I stopped.
It's not.
The thing Manny loves the most is when Dennis touches the mic.
Yeah, well, I set it up now where I'm okay. But yeah, no, but it's happened before. I can't remember. People always ask me, give a specific. I don't remember specifics. I think in general terms, so I don't remember.
Well, because when you don't, you'll just make these wild statements, and it sounds like you're making them up out of nowhere.
But how could I do that if there's a basis?
Because you can't. It's very easy to make.
Well, I guess I am very creative, so I can do that. That's true.
All
right, let's react. No, but you said this is about us arguing. We argue play, but if you ask me where I was born, all this stuff, am I supposed to be like, say something controversial that's not true about where I was born, and you can debate? No, you weren't born there. Like, Sometimes it's just a conversation. You can't predict every time where it's gonna go.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it wasn't great content, but I completely steered the ship. I'm not like blaming you.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you are if you're saying that.
No, I'm just saying it wasn't great, but it was whatever.
Right,
it was us. It was us warming up the show.
I guess.
And you're out here like, oh, it was pure gold that we lost.
I
It
thought
was
it was
magic. I told him that I grew up on Durham Street. Durham. The people have to know.
Well, I think everything that I said about myself is interesting.
Well, that's...
Manny, you know what the difference is? Some of us actually love each other. And I mean ourselves. Some of us actually love ourselves.
And some of us are completely delusional psychopaths.
I'm not a psychopath, but I do love myself a lot. Now, if you said narcissist, I could agree with you more, but not a psychopath. But it's better to love yourself too much than too little. It's true. It is better to love yourself too much than too little. You'll have a better life.
That's a good conversation.
Yeah.
Manny, what are your thoughts on that?
I think you shouldn't love yourself at all. I think you should constantly be criticizing yourself so that you can grow and improve as a person.
Those two things are not mutually exclusive. You can love yourself and point out where you can improve. Loving yourself is not based on what you did today. It's based on a core respect that you have for yourself as a person.
Well, anytime I say that you have no self-criticism skills, you conflate that as, oh no, that's just me loving myself.
You never said I don't have self-criticism skills.
Well, the inference of not everything you say is gold should be, oh yeah, I should criticize and see what is gold versus what isn't gold.
Fine, that's true.
And your response is, I love myself. You just don't love yourself enough. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe you should work on improving. And you're like, well, it's possible to love yourself and work on improving, but anytime I mention improving,
you're like Ben Shapiro. You're like Ben Shapiro. You know Ben Shapiro?
Oh,
he talks very. He says a lot of stuff very like strongly, and you can't get a word in, and so it sounds like he's right.
No one can get a word in when I talk.
Sometimes
I'm the person that no one can get a word in when they're talking.
Sometimes.
No, that is the gold.
No, Manny, but check it out. I'm being serious. Loving yourself is not loving everything you do. It's having respect for you as a human being who deserves the best and to treat yourself well. You can do all that and still point out the flaw. In fact,
okay, so you can do that and still point out the flaws. I'm just pointing out the flaws, and you're like, I love myself.
Because that was a joke. I was trying to.
So you're actively not doing it. Because I'm not telling you. I've never once said, you know what, Dennis, you shouldn't love yourself so much. But you act like that's what I'm saying, and then when
man, it was a joke. I said that because I felt like you don't love yourself, so I was trying to diss you.
Okay, well, I'm deeply offended, and this is how I act when I'm offended. I get on the offensive.
I don't think
and I
can't tell if you are offended or not. But here's the thing. In fact, if you truly do love yourself, you will give yourself criticism. Because if you don't, that means you're not interested in improving. If you're not interested in improving, that means you don't really love yourself. So it's not mutually exclusive. However, I will say, I criticize myself all the time. I just don't take criticism from other people well. But well, that's not even true. Sometimes I don't. But I criticize my own self because I take more value in what I observe about myself that I think.
Because you're the smartest person in the room.
No, that's not why.
Because you think anyone else who tries to criticize you is either evil or stupid.
I mean,
because bitch, I am a god, and how can you say anything bad about me?
So what about you? You think you don't have a high ego?
I have the highest of egos.
So what are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
So you're saying I have too high of an ego, but then you just said
Did I say that you have too high of an ego?
That's what you implied.
I don't even think I implied that.
You said I don't take criticism. I think I'm the smartest person in the room. You said that I think everything I say is gold. Does that not sound like someone with a high ego?
I mean, that sounds like someone who's delusional. You can have a high. It's mutually exclusive. You see, you can have a high ego and still not be all those annoying negative character traits.
You want me to list your negative character traits?
Go for it.
I wasn't going to, but I don't know why you decided to say them about me. So, Chad, are you okay, buddy?
Chad is lovely.
Yeah,
I don't want him to be. I don't know.
Sit back, listen to you guys.
So, all right,
Manny.
you're not good at texting, Manny.
Manny, I want to
Respond with like a sentence.
one positive thing.
Say, wait, what positive about Manny or him about me?
I want Manny to say one positive thing about himself.
Yeah, please say one positive thing about me.
I think you're much funnier than you get credit for.
Thank you. That's honestly that. Everything else you said is fine if you said that. I'm okay with everything else. But
So your problem with me is that I don't text in novel length paragraphs.
yes, because I never know what I sometimes I feel like you didn't even read what I said. Like I don't even know what part of it you read because you don't reply to some parts of it.
I reply to everything. It's also you'll reply. You'll send me a text with multiple questions where I'm like, okay, and then unless I break up my thing, because it's like you'll ask a long ass question, but it's also a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
So I have to reply yes, no, yes, no, yes, and it's like I'm filling out a multiple choice.
No.
I should send you a Scantron via mail to reply.
No, because this is what most people. They would elaborate. They wouldn't just say yes or no. They would explain. You don't really explain anything.
Not everything needs an explanation.
I guess, but for interesting content, it should be more elaborated.
Why is texting you have to be interesting content?
So that I'm amused by it.
I'm not your court jester.
I'm
You
not
guys could
yours.
always call each other.
Well, we talk so long on the podcast that we save it for the podcast.
Please don't suggest a call.
Why?
Yeah. Because sometimes things can get taken the wrong way over text, like as opposed to like in person or
I'm
over
not
the
even
phone.
taking it the wrong way. I just feel like also whenever I send you anything that doesn't have a question, you barely ever reply. If it's just like, hey, take a look at this. This is kind of cool. You don't reply. You don't say, I like it. I don't like it. You just ignore it.
Okay. The most recent specific example I can go off of because I like to go on concrete examples was you sent me someone analyzing the new Kendrick song.
Yeah, that's true. That was
I didn't
interesting.
watch that at all.
So
I didn't click play. I was like,
so
ignored.
So just reply. I'm sorry. I don't really want to watch that. Then I would know.
Or I could just not reply.
You could, but that's what I'm saying. Sometimes that's annoying.
I'm sorry.
Okay, but I'm just telling you.
Next time, Dennis.
But look, you pointed out all my flaws. I'm pointing out
yours.
yours.
Will not do better next time.
I'm pointing out, but why can't I point out your?
You can't point out my flaws.
Well, I imagine. Do you think I'm the only person that's annoyed by that?
I know my mom gets annoyed by it too.
There you go.
And so you have the exact same reaction as a woman in my life.
So what is that supposed to mean? That women are what? What are you saying?
I'm just saying that you're a woman. Like I'm not placing a value judgment on being a woman.
I am. I have some feminine traits, and I have some masculine traits. I took a test. I'm 60% masculine, 40% feminine, personality-wise.
Okay. Before we still need to get into this reaction of your
It's a test.
But before we get into, I'm sorry, Chad, I didn't hear you.
I said I love it. 135 IQ, 60% masculine. I honestly haven't taken any of these tests. Like when I was listening to the podcast a couple weeks ago, I was like, I wonder what mine is.
Take it. I'll give you. May doesn't believe in it, but there's some online IQ tests that are pretty decent.
No, that's literally not.
You don't know that. You're just scared
I
to
do
take
know
it.
that. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you want to take an IQ test, it needs to be administered by a professional.
And where am I supposed to find one?
Wait, Mandy, you don't believe in IQ tests?
They didn't test our IQ.
That's something that they could do, but like
They would. They're too busy giving people, loading people up.
But it's like you need a professional. There's a professional there. Any online IQ test is bullshit.
What if it's a professional that gives it to me online?
Professionals don't give you IQ tests online.
They give you other tests.
They give you IQ tests are given in person.
I took one when I was a kid because when I was in school, in elementary school, like first, second grade, they could see that I was like above a lot of the stuff. And what they do when they see that, they're like, oh, this kid might be gifted. They give you a test. I took a test.
Was it an IQ test or was it a score
It was
test?
an IQ test.
Did your score go up significantly or down significantly?
No.
By the time, so
by the time I'm like now,
in the most recent.
no, it's always within. I mean, it's gonna vary a couple of points here and there, but it was always between 130 to 135. Yeah.
Okay, but
So that's why I think it's accurate mostly accurate, because if I took it online and it gave me, I took online like probably like 3 or 4 in my life, and they always gave me basically the same thing as the professional. So what does that tell you?
When you took the professional IQ test when you were a kid?
Yeah.
I
don't remember it because I was a kid, but I remember taking it. I don't remember like what exactly, but I remember being pulled out of class and stuff, and I remember my mom telling me that what my IQ was later because they told her.
Okay.
I'm surprised you weren't. I think you have a high IQ.
Yeah, I was in a lot of gifted programs.
That means you.
But I didn't get an IQ test.
Man, you have to. That's how gifted works.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's different school to school, first of all. And second of all, they don't take IQ tests.
Our viewers, you know he's not correct. But
you know that I am.
No, it's not. That's how gifted works. Gifted is not the same thing as honors or any of that stuff. It's a very specific thing.
I wasn't in a gifted program then. I don't know. Maybe I was just in a lot of honors programs.
Right, that you can just choose. But gifted, you're born into. You know who has a very high IQ, also gifted?
Who?
Lil Wayne.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I don't.
A lot of people are surprised because of how he acts sometimes. He acts kind of
because he's a lead addict?
Well, because, sometimes he's just like incoherent and like blah, 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 but yeah, he actually is.
No, the one person who I know who has had a professionally administered IQ test and came out a genius.
Oh.
I'm in the middle of telling you the story and you're interrupting to ask me questions. The one person I know, I'm gonna take my time in it now. I'm gonna make you. They were addicted to a bunch of different drugs and had ruined their life.
No, I know. It's more so just the way Wayne expresses himself sometimes, where he can't. He's like, blah, blah, blah,
yeah, well,
but yeah,
he's from New Orleans.
That's not because of that. It's because of the. It's not that. It's not. I'm just saying, like certain drugs. Like if you're on cocaine, you probably sound smarter than you do if you're on lean. So
I mean, I feel like you sound dumber both ways.
Well, cocaine, you're more like you have more thoughts. You're quicker, so it sounds smarter.
But you're gonna say dumb shit.
But to me, if you say a lot of stuff very smart and very confidently, honestly, very loudly and fast. What?
You got to get Steve on the podcast to talk about that.
I know. I don't know where he is.
He would know.
I know.
Probably
he's watching the Joker. Yeah, he said he's gonna watch the Joker today. And get back
I was gonna ask. You're a movie guy. Did you see Joker 2?
Yeah, I saw an early screening of it. What was it, last Monday? I felt mixed about it, but I'm glad Dennis liked it because I've seen that it's gotten a lot of hate, like way too much in my opinion.
So, Chad, give us some things you like about it and some things you don't like about it.
So I loved the opening scene. I think it's the first 5 minutes of animation. I thought that was hilarious. I loved the opening prison scene. It was like a long take where you really get a sense of the prison. Yeah. And I also loved Joaquin Phoenix. I thought he was great. I loved the makeup. It's kind of a given with those movies, but I thought the makeup was really strong. And I also think that the prison aspect was probably the highlight of the movie. Like, it felt very lived in. Unfortunately, I like musicals. I also love the courtroom genre, but both genres of that movie I just thought did not do a good job with it. I thought the dialogue during the courtroom scenes, they just never really came to life. And the musical numbers were kind of forgettable, which I was surprised by because I know Lady Gaga is a musician. So I was baffled by that. And the ending is something that is right up my alley. Like, I love those kind of nihilistic endings, but the execution, it just kind of left me shrugging my shoulders. But I can respect it though. Like, I gave it personally like a mixed bag kind of rating. But I was going to ask you, what did you like about it?
I'll tell you in a second after I finish chewing my almonds. Okay.
Oh no, just eat on that.
Oh, hey, here we go. Manny, did you watch it yet or no?
I have not watched it. I liked the first Joker movie. I didn't like the first one the first time I saw it. I liked it the second time I saw it. I feel like I just appreciated it more. But I'm not a fan of musicals.
I'm not either usually.
I like the fact that one of the things I liked about the first one was that it was a good standalone movie and was intended to be a standalone movie. So then I didn't like the fact that they made a sequel in the first place. Then I saw that it was a musical, and everything I heard about it was just that they were shitting on the fans of the original, which I didn't.
They deserve to get shitted on sometimes.
Okay,
So Chad, oh sorry.
So yeah, I just figured it's not worth wasting my time on because no one who I knew who liked the first movie liked the second one.
Well, now you know someone who does. But
he said
this is
mixed
true.
reviews.
No, me.
Oh well, yeah, but
What? But my opinion doesn't count, right?
I don't know how much I trust your opinion.
So that's what I just said. I don't know why you don't trust mine, but anyway.
I don't trust most opinions.
But Dennis sees some good movies. Fair. I saw some of the ones he called. Like I saw that Dennis saw The Substance.
A great movie. I see a lot more movies than Manny, and I think I understand them better. Now I don't know if I do, but I see a lot more than Manny. So if anybody's opinion, I actually have good opinions on movies.
See, the fact that there's good opinions and bad opinions is an opinion that it's like, hey, this person likes stuff that I tend to like. This person doesn't like stuff that I tend to like. I'm going to trust that for what I would enjoy. I'm not here for a critical analysis of what's good or bad.
Honestly, as a YouTube critic, I follow a wide range of like opinions because for me, I like hearing different kind of takes on things. I think honestly it enhances the viewing experience.
Yeah,
like I've seen some people say they love the movie, and I've seen some people say they hate it. But I also like the ones that are more nuanced. But that's just me. That's why when I saw Steve's comment, he was like, "Yeah, there's only one or two." Like I'm just like, "Yeah, there really isn't though. There's actually a lot. You just kind of have to look into it."
Oh, critics? Yeah, I mean, there's.
Yeah.
I feel like critics a lot of times they write in a very snarky kind of tone that's annoying, and they're kind of like they act like they're they're like condescending and they're all like snark. I don't like that. I don't really care so much about exactly that. Not in the same way. They do it in a different way. I'm not condescending like that.
I try not to be either. I try to honestly break it down like as simplistic as possible because at the end of the day, I mean, think about it. A lot of times when you talk to people and it's like, "Oh, is this movie good?" It's like they want you to break it down as simplistic as possible. Like they don't want it to be like, "Oh, like using big words." Like every now and then I will.
No, I don't do that. But yeah, I don't do that. I just talk about it. But let me tell you about the Joker first, though.
Gets it.
He's agreeing with me.
I'm just
okay. That's fine.
What do you mean he's agreeing with you?
It doesn't matter.
No, I'm just.
He likes looking at different standpoints. Okay. He likes looking at different standpoints to increase his knowledge and understanding instead of just going by what people he likes and doesn't like or whatever.
I will say that, hey, I just like the simplistic view of like, oh, you will like this, you won't like this.
Okay, fine. So he agrees with you on that. Fine.
So I'm like, okay, he gets it.
Oh, okay.
Well, what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, there are some people that just want to casually watch a movie, and then there are some people that want to like break it down. And then also on some criticism, yeah, I would say you and I are more in the middle, but there are a lot of times there's two spectrums similar to politics where you'll have the one side where it's like all they watch is like independent art house type films, and then the other side all they do is watch like the Disney movies, like the big blockbusters. And I don't fall into either category. I like both, but I'm more in the middle where I'm like I try to appreciate both.
Yeah, same. But Chad, wait, let me just tell you what I liked about the Joker. So Chad, when you were watching it, did you grasp the fact that it was I don't mean to phrase it like that, but did you pick up on the fact that it basically there was a lot of fans of the first movie that were like see the Joker as a hero, and which the Todd Phillips didn't see it that way. He's like, this is a character story, and you're taking it the wrong way. So in the second movie, he kind of shows like what would really happen to someone like the Joker, that he wouldn't go out a hero, that eventually he wouldn't be able to keep up his persona. And eventually he would lose the followers once they saw who he really was, and that he wasn't this Joker character. And it kind of showed what happens, and it tries to de-romanticize that whole character. Did you pick up on that?
Oh, of course. But here, I'll counter with this. I look at it like this. Taxi Driver, one of my favorite films. I imagine if Taxi Driver, if they made a second one, it would be similar to Joker 2, where it would almost...
Yeah.
it would almost dilute the original. Like Taxi Driver, some people misinterpret it where it's like, oh, Travis Bickle's so cool, this is awesome. But then more nuanced viewers such as us, we understand that this is someone that's very troubled and he has a lot of issues. But I like the fact that it's something that audiences are able to talk amongst themselves versus something like Joker 2. It's like solidifying that, yeah, like you guys are kind of idiots for liking that this guy, you know, like you guys were glorifying him. And that's something that I was kind of like, I wish that there was like more subtlety to that.
So you
just, but that's just it.
So basically you saw where he was going and you could appreciate that, but you just didn't think they should have banged you over the head with it as much as they did.
Yes, and I think that Todd Phillips as a director, he isn't subtle in the slightest. Like I didn't think like Joker the first one I enjoyed, but I think that it was as subtle as a sledgehammer, and I think the second one was like pretty much a building and collapsed on you in terms of how subtle it is. I kind of like
that though.
And
yeah.
Oh, you do?
I kind of do because in this sense because when it comes because
you know how to feel about it.
No.
Without any deep thought?
Incorrect. No, because...
because you know for certain that you can have the correct opinion?
Incorrect. That's more what you would think of something.
Incorrect.
Okay, but...
That's more what you would think.
Alright, well, anyway, but listen. So, no, I'll explain. I like subtle when it comes to character development. But I feel like, you know what it is? It's like... I like that he clearly felt a certain way about the fans of the previous one, and he wasn't afraid. Like I told Manny in the car, you weren't there, but nobody was besides us. But fuck, I got sidetracked. What did that he clearly felt a strong way, and he had balls to show it. I like when it's like with Sopranos with the ending and other things where he knew people wanted it to be. Well, I'm not gonna spoil, but. He knew what people.
How long ago did the Sopranos?
Well, you didn't. No, for you because you didn't see it.
I don't. Tony, there's a fade to black. Yeah. Some people think Tony got shot. Other people don't know, and everyone's like, "Oh, gee, I don't care about spoilers."
I do love that thing, by the way. I do think it's great.
Yeah, because it's like. So he kind of pissed off the fans. I feel a strong way about certain people that consume certain things. And
so you like it because it pissed off people that you don't like?
No, not that I don't like any of them, but it's just...
So you liked it because it had morally the right message?
Well, yeah, to an extent, yeah. But not just that, but also because it took balls to piss off your own... If you genuinely don't agree with your own fans and you piss them off, that takes balls because that means you're not scared of losing fans. Most people will be too scared of losing fans.
So you would have liked... a long Facebook post just as much as the movie if it pissed off as many
No,
fans.
because I like seeing Lady Gaga on screen, first of all.
You would have liked a long Facebook post with a pretty image attached.
No, here's the thing. I like his acting. I like the portrayal of the asylum. And some of his stuff he did in court was hilarious. And
I will give you that. That was good. Something.
Like the way he was in court, he was very theatrical and he's a stand-up comic. And they were reading his quotes out of context, the judge, and he didn't really care about anything the judge was saying, but then he read the quote wrong, and the judge was, and Joker was like, Your Honor, no, that's not how it's meant to. So I can relate to that in a way, with people misinterpreting jokes, and I can relate to him in some ways, not in the killing people way, obviously, but as far as I put on Facebook,
I was gonna say
a comedian. No, not in that way, but being a theatrical person who's a comedian. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I just would have much rather it had been done through. I know you and I always talk about this, but visual storytelling.
Visual storytelling. Yeah, I know.
Yes, I feel like there's just so much heavy-handed dialogue in Joker 2 that it was just kind of oh my goodness, dude, I got it within the first 15 minutes. Versus, I'll give you a good example. The substance, one could argue, is quote unquote heavy-handed. But the reason why it works as well as it does is because it's all through the visuals, and it's bonkers, so it's really able to just go all out.
Yeah, great.
But I felt like Joker 2 was kind of held back.
That's true. I could feel that. But I guess you want to move on to... No, and that's a very good point. But you want to move on to the reactions to the videos?
Yes, let's do that.
Is that okay, Chad?
No, yeah, of course. I'm here. I'm ready.
That's not a memo of the show.
I know.
So, alright, we've got...
I'll give you $5
just
after the show ends
Alright, so...
to say sorry.
so
That's why I say sorry. I pay people. No, I don't. I say sorry, and I
No, no, no. Well, Dennis, just like Todd Phillips, you want to anger the fans.
Right. Well, our fans, they expect to be angered, so it's like it works out. But yeah. All right, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
all 5 of them.
We got fans, we got groupies, we got everything.
Alright, so do you want to set this up? Cause
I want to set up the video. Make sure everybody see it, yo. Put it up on the screen. I don't be sipping that lean. I don't be doing them drugs. I don't be hanging with thugs.
Yeah,
I be at home watching movies.
Yeah, that was
I
you
am
guys,
the best
blew the
Sorry.
audience to episode 2. Because episode 2, you guys were about to show the video, and then it just cut out, and I was like, ah.
Oh yeah, we didn't get into it. Yeah, all right, let's show the video. So
where is this? When is this?
yeah, so are we still doing the Watusi one first?
I honestly don't remember. Alright,
So we're doing the more controversial one second, right?
Alright, let me see. I've got one labeled first set. I'm gonna switch to it and
Switch
then
it.
we'll
Switch it, but don't ditch it. Bitches get no stitches. Riches, you get bitch dicked. Rich shit.
Do you recognize this?
Yeah, so this is well, we don't see us.
I'm gonna fix that.
All right.
But do you recognize this?
Yeah, it's me.
Can you talk about it?
Oh yeah,
please.
This is me at a place called Watusi's Pub in West Philly, or bar in West Philly. It's Lislaji. Yeah, it's a time. Yeah, so I did this mic in July, and they heckled me, and they didn't get what I was like. I don't know. They didn't want to hear what I was saying, or they didn't get what I was saying, or I don't know. They didn't like me. I don't know what it was, but they heckled me, and I kind of ended it, and they just started chanting. So this is an example of me dealing with hecklers in the middle of the set, and well, I kind of folded. I didn't really know what to do. But and then the second video is going to be more dramatic, but this one's also something.
Okay. So
yeah.
For some reason I can't get us to show. I don't care about that too much. I'm just gonna
All right, yeah. As long as they hear us.
Yeah.
They hear us even if they're not near us.
Manny, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up, Chad?
Have you heard of something called StreamYard?
That's what we use, right?
No, we use Restream. StreamYard costs money, and we're on a shoestring budget right now.
No, it's free. I use it. As someone that's a cheapskate, I use it. It's free.
So StreamYard costs money if you want to restream to multiple platforms at the same time. Because it's what we started out using.
I think Chad only streams to YouTube.
Yeah, but I am
Okay.
familiar with it.
Yeah.
Because right now we do it to YouTube and Instagram Live because more people care about their Instagram and just see the notification that it's live.
If we get it to Facebook, that would be great too.
Yeah, well, that would cost money. I mean, I'm willing to do any of this.
I think Chad should pay for it.
Okay.
Be the producer of the show.
Can you be the producer of the show? We'd like a producer. You could come over and.
I think I could. I like to think that I give pointers. That's one of the reasons why I called in the first place, because I was like, I wanted to let them know that that we can't hear, because I'm like, the last thing I wanted to do where you guys are talking, and for 2 hours, you guys play it back, and it's like, wait. Yeah, it's like,
thank you for
hearing
calling. But Chad, I mean, what we would need is someone to run the calls and I don't know, just keep a look on the on the computer. Like, I don't know how. I mean, you do your own stuff. Like, just you probably don't use all the same software, but I think you could probably figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I worked at a call center for several years, so yeah, I could definitely do it.
Are you free on Sundays? Oh no,
it varies, to be honest.
Oh.
I mean, we have...
No, Manny brought up another guy. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, we.
But I know Chad better, but it's fine.
Okay.
We'll see.
I know this I know the other guy that is, but it's fun.
Manny's the director, so what Manny says goes.
Yeah, I know.
Or you guys co-direct.
No, he's the boss. I'm the on-screen talent, and he's the boss. See. I'm like the he's talent too, but I'm like the personality. He has a personality too, but I'm like the most like flamboyant personality, and he makes sure it all runs smoothly, and I just show up and be myself basically, more or less, which is a beautiful.
You guys are like the two old. You guys are like the two old Muppets.
There's no black Muppets, but yeah, I hear you. No, but
Grover.
He's not black.
Elmo.
Why is Grover? Well, although you probably have a similar voice to Cookie Monster. That's not a Muppet though. That's a Sesame Street, right?
Sesame Street.
Yeah, that's Sesame Street.
Oh, okay. I never really watched it, to be honest. I watched Teletubbies. I don't remember a lot about it though. My grandpa used to watch it with me. Couldn't speak English, but anyway. He just thought they looked funny. But anyway, let's go. All right, guys. This is what Tootsie Pubs from July 2024. Me getting wrecked.
All right, let's see.
Damn.
Hell yeah, this guy's funny as hell, yo. He's all around the suburbs, all around Philly. Make some noise for my guy, Dennis B.
Alright, yo, it's good to be here. It's my first time here, so turn the mic on, One more time for Dennis B!
Wait, so London was doing all that with no mic?
Yeah.
Just,
Well, you know how he is.
yeah, I know. I'm just impressed.
Yeah.
Props to London.
Yeah.
Because he was loud as hell.
Well, it's in his blood. No, but he's good at what he does.
He's a spicy Latino man.
Exactly.
So it's good to be here. So, like a lot of people, I got ADHD, in school I couldn't focus, couldn't pay attention, right? So I remember one day in social studies, we started learning about World War II. I remember the first time I learned the term concentration camp. I was like, yo, sign me up, I was so fucking excited. I could finally get the help I need, I went home, later that day, I told my grandma that joke. She's Jewish, right? She's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You also did just go straight into material without trying to capture their attention at all.
Well, that's true, but what am I supposed to say to them? I don't know these guys.
Hey, hello, what's up?
No, I said that, and then my mic didn't work, and then he set it up. I didn't know I had to say it twice.
You can do whatever you want up there.
But I don't like to do duplicate content.
What?
Because it's bad for SEO. On websites if you put duplicate. No, but that's... So my cousin's husband, or ex-husband, we did like SEO, like that's why we did a lot of like spamming and stuff to get more rated on Google. So I've had it drilled into my head that duplicate content is bad for SEO. So I apply that to other shit too by accident. But anyway.
So, okay, I've heard this joke before. You go to every mic and you do the same content pretty much.
That's not true.
I'd switch it up pretty often.
Alright, what the fuck? I switch it up. Yeah, I do this joke a lot because it's one of my greatest hits. But I also do other stuff too. I have a whole Google Doc full of jokes. I do some of the same ones. I don't do all the same ones. This is like, people always have the ones that are like their best and they do a lot. I don't do all the same stuff every time. That is not true.
Okay. But
that offends me more than everything else you said about
I'm just saying, you're out here and I can't say hello twice, but I'll say that's
because it's called material. Oh my God! If the Rolling Stones comes on stage, they're gonna play their songs that everybody's heard 1,000 times. That's different than the banter that's supposed to be spontaneous.
You provided zero banter at the start of this.
And,
play you're not the Rolling Stones. I hate to break it to you.
And you're not Chuck Berry.
I don't pretend to be Chuck Berry.
I just said that because he's black and the Stones are white and they both play rock and roll. Anyway, keep it going.
Oh man, so remember when you said I'm like Ben Shapiro?
Yeah.
I think you all like Ben Shapiro.
Why?
Jew.
Oh, okay.
When I was at a concentration camp, I couldn't focus one bit, Nah, but she wasn't actually in the concentration camp, but she was, affected by the Holocaust. And the German government, they've been giving out money to people whose lives, were affected by the Holocaust, like my grandma. So the other day she looked.
Do you think anyone there's even heard
Of the Holocaust?
anything that you've said so far? I
haven't heard. You mean like just like what I like literally how audible I am?
Yeah, I mean, I know the mic's on, but I'm looking at these people in the background.
What's your point exactly?
So the next joke that you're going into is the direct follow-up to the previous joke. If the previous joke didn't work and no one paid attention to it, even if they magically all started paying attention.
Well, there was a few that did pay attention. They told me after, like on the other side of the camera. There's one guy that gave me mad props.
Okay, so.
But I see what you're saying, but in that moment I was so nervous that I wasn't able to do that. I was just going with what I had prepared. I wasn't present enough to really switch it up because I was just very nervous, very anxious.
Okay.
And that happens.
That does happen. I'm just, it's interesting to me because
What, like you always switch it up on cue?
I try to switch it up. If I'm in this situation, I either am gonna switch it up.
But here's the thing about the thing where I didn't banter with them, right? Why do they need it? Some audiences don't need it.
Every audience is different.
Right, but why do some and not? I'm like asking why.
Because every audience is different. That's like why do some girls come when I fuck them and other girls don't?
There's reasons biologically and mentally probably.
Okay, there's reasons biologically and mentally.
So I was asking if you knew. I was asking
if
if you knew those reasons. Okay, keep going. I'm good. I need to calm down. Play the video. I'm just gonna.
Listen, when those Germans come up, those fucking Holocaust, we're gonna have ourselves a little Hitler hoot nanny, a little Holocaust hoedown, if you will.
Repeat content. That was,
I already debunked this theory with you.
I was like, damn, Grandma, I like the way you think. I like the way we're gonna turn this Holocaust into a Holocaust, Okay. Oh yeah. So people, make assumptions about me. Like when I first started dating my wife, she told me I dressed like Jesse Pinkman's friends on Breaking Bad. You've seen the show, yeah. But I grew up in a decent household. My parents, are hard, they came here to give me a better life, all that kind of stuff. They raised me well. So what you see in front of you today is basically just me being ungrateful to all my parents' hard work and sacrifice. They don't laugh at that. But yeah, someone was asking earlier about drugs. People that you guys like drugs and all that. It's just something that comedians got to ask. It's like a requirement. Well, I usually people say yes, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't, because everyone in comedy, everyone talks about drugs and drinking, and I don't do any of that. So but I realized I'm kind of jealous of recovering drug addicts, because when they say they're clean and sober, they're not doing anything wrong, they get applauded from that, and rightfully so. I think they should. But then when I say the same thing, because I was wise enough not to get into that stuff in the first place, I get called boring or no fun or all this. It's fuck. I think it sends a fucked up message. Because now I want to just, develop a heroin addiction just so I can quit 2 years later and finally get some respect. I'm not doing that. I'm not really going
to. I don't know how to go back.
Pretty sure it's right there, yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Maybe that's a little too far, but.
Okay. Well, alright, we'll be quiet this time. All right.
They came here to give me a better life, all that kind of stuff. They raised me well. So what you see in front of you today is basically just me being ungrateful to all my parents' hard work and sacrifice. They don't laugh at that. But
so you said they don't laugh at that?
My parents. I was just.
I know, but to anyone who's barely been listening, especially because the room did get kind of quieter then, it sounds like you're talking to the audience. And
I'm talking about both, kind of.
Oh, so you are, okay.
I was like, they didn't laugh at that either, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, someone was asking earlier about drugs. People that you guys like drugs and all that. It's just something that comedians got to ask. It's like a requirement. Well, I usually people say yes, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't, because everyone in comedy, everyone talks about drugs and drinking, and I don't do any of that. So but I realized I'm kind of jealous of recovering drug addicts, because when they say they're clean and sober, they're not doing anything wrong, they get applauded from that, and rightfully so. I think they should. But then when I say the same thing, because I was wise enough not to get into that stuff in the first place, you know, I get called boring or no fun or all this. It's fuck. I think it sends a fucked up message. Because now I want to just, you know, develop a heroin addiction just so I can quit 2 years later and finally get some respect, you know?
It's a do cocaine.
It's a do cocaine.
Yeah. And they tried to sell me some in the parking lot on the way out. True story.
So it wasn't even comedy advice. That was just salesmanship right there.
Yeah. You'll hear what he says. This is really what annoyed me. But...
Do cocaine.
I mean, wow.
You ever done cocaine?
2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Not my favorite drug. Highly overrated in my opinion.
Yeah, I would never think it would be good.
Yeah, the only reason I did it the first time was because it was off of
Peer pressure.
Because it was, I've turned down the peer pressure multiple times. The only reason I did it the first time was because it was off of fat pair of titties. And I was like, alright, well, this does seem like a fun experience.
I would dust it off and just enjoy the titties. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, I decided to do the cocaine and enjoy the titties. And honestly, no regrets. Still an overrated drug, but I had fun sniffing them titties.
Alright.
Now I'm just going to be thinking about that for the rest of this episode.
Boner?
No, not enough. Not motion.
Oh, damn.
Right now. You see, random distraction. Speaking of weird texts, when you sent me the on my way text this morning, you sent me a bunch of emojis.
That was a joke. That was a joke because, you know, I was like acting like I'm a dude picking you up for a date. I was just joking. By the way, I just drew this myself, and sometimes when I look at this, I get horny. Okay. I can draw boobs and get horny.
You're a healthy man.
That's right.
Alright. So this guy's telling you to do cocaine?
Yeah, but he'll tell me more. Keep it going.
But then when I say the same thing, because I was wise enough not to get into that stuff in the first place, you know, I get called boring or no fun or all this. It's fuck. I think it sends a fucked up message. Because now I want to just, you know, develop a heroin addiction just so I can quit 2 years later and finally get some respect, you know? I mean, wow. I'm not doing that. I'm not really going to...
I don't have anymore. I'm at my
But, you know, like I said, I'm married and I love my wife to death, but I still got some weird...
I mean, to a bunch of cocaine enjoyers.
I don't know a bunch, just that guy said it.
I heard more than one person.
But people should be able to hear them,
cocaine.
to be like people, like comics sometimes touch on things that people you know, that people, you know, comics talk about. Like, oh, I, you know what I mean? Like, and just because it, you know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm gonna finish the thought that I was halfway through when you started talking. To a bunch of cocaine enjoyers, I don't think anything that you're saying is more interesting than the thought of doing cocaine right at that
So they're dumb. They can't focus on the comedy because they're taking up drugs.
I mean, the comedy just doesn't compete. That's
They don't, just play the video.
No,
Just play the video.
Say you're watching an amazing movie. Say you're watching The Joker 2. And so some kid that's not yours comes up and says, hey mister, I want to see me do a trick. And then they fucking jump and spin or something. And you're like, whatever kid. And you go back to watching your movie. If that gets us, that guy is dumb. He can't appreciate the trick that I'm doing.
He's just an asshole if he does that to a little kid. Crushes his spirit. He's just an asshole.
Okay, so this is an audience full of assholes.
Yep.
They're all,
not all of them. But
they're all thinking about cocaine.
I don't. That's your assumption. I don't know if that's what they're doing or not. But okay.
They're all thinking about cocaine right now instead of whatever you have to say.
All
right, you know, you know. All right, fine, keep it going.
I hang up with her sometimes. Like for example, I'll leave her out no problem, right? But I absolutely refuse. I refuse. Anyway.
If you hear what I said before, you would know what the fuck I said.
Was anything you said before as attention grabbing as the idea of eating out your parents?
I'm gonna fucking pour this water on your head. I'm not really gonna do that, but you're annoying me.
I'm just saying, there's like, they're not listening to you. If anything, just be glad that you finally caught their attention and do something with that.
Alright, look, when we're reacting to these videos, it's not you insulting everything I do.
This whole podcast is me insulting everything you do.
Not really.
Okay.
But I'm saying with the videos, like, alright, I'm gonna be serious for a second. When I watch some of these, I feel bad, and I relive the experience, and I don't, like, it's one thing to react to it in criticism, but if you just fucking shit on it all day long.
This is, my reaction is to critique it and shit on it.
Yeah, it's the way you say it, though.
So, okay, well, maybe you're, so what I say isn't as important as the way I say it.
Well, I don't mean just tone, I mean like the way you phrase it and stuff, for example.
So the message that I'm putting across the...
Well, I don't even think all your messages is entirely correct either.
Okay, well, we can debate about that.
But when I do that, you try to shut me down.
How am I shutting you down?
Because you go, no, it's this, no, it's this, it's this, it's this. And I'm like, well, maybe it's that. No, it's this. I'm like, okay.
We can have a back and forth.
But I feel like you don't want to admit if I'm right about something.
I don't think you're right about anything.
Ever. In life? What do you mean?
Never once have you been correct.
No, but I'm being serious. Like, if a person can't even, like, everybody's right and wrong. Sometimes a little bit right, sometimes a little bit wrong. I acknowledge that. If someone has a point, I'm like, all right, you have a point about that. But this. I feel like you just want to say that everything I say is wrong just off the bat.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm being serious.
I am too, though.
I mean, on the podcast mostly. You don't want to acknowledge when I'm right about it.
I disagree with that. I think you're wrong about that. But here we are. See? So, is it possible for me to... So, right now you're complaining that I don't give you any credit. And yours, like, you do give me... Right, this is a no-win argument for us right now, unless it just turns into me sucking your dickhead. You know what? You're completely right. You
know what the problem is? You seem to think that acknowledging someone has a point about one thing is the same as telling them they're completely right. It's not true.
I don't think that at all.
That's how. Maybe subconsciously.
Honestly, we've had conversations where you seem to think that. When your Naruto friend called in, who was that, Chad?
No, that was Patrick.
Okay, when Patrick called in and he was all like da, 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 and I was like, okay, well, he made one good. After we hung up, I didn't admit it on there. I was like, he made one good point about Naruto, and you're like, oh, so why didn't you tell him that he was correct? I'm like, I still think he was wrong about everything else that he said.
Just because you think someone's wrong about everything else doesn't mean you can't acknowledge the one thing they're right about.
Okay. I did acknowledge the one thing he was right about, and I said that he was wrong about everything else, and you were like, oh, well, and then your response, and I'm going to quote you as accurately as I can, was, oh, well, you know, me personally, I would think that if you acknowledge the one thing that they did correct, and you'd say that they were entirely right.
That's true. They're not entirely wrong if they're a little bit correct.
But they're not entirely right.
I mean,
nobody said they were, but you gotta be fair.
That's what you said.
It was just an opinion on a show. Like, it was two different perspectives. It's just a matter of agreeing to disagree, because neither one of them were going to change their minds.
I know, but...
Yeah, and also, the show's less interesting if it's us agreeing.
I know, but don't just fucking be fake for the sake of the show.
Don't just be entertainment for the sake of the
entertainment. You can be entertaining and still have a point. You don't need to sacrifice what you actually have a point of, like what the point is. You mean like
so
fuck it.
So my point is, you're bombing right now, and the crowd is more interested in cocaine than whatever you have to say.
I know, but honestly,
that's
fine. But honestly, I don't. Like, that turns me off from wanting to react to the rest of it. Because it's disrespectful, and so it turns me off.
The opinion is disrespectful?
I guess.
So just because you're not being perfect right now,
No, that's not.
I bomb all the time.
Yeah, but I don't like shove it in your face.
I'm not shoving it in your face,
feels
but
like
we're
you are.
reacting to it.
You realize that the way
I only mentioned it just because I know you guys talked about it in the last couple of videos that you guys were going to show. That's the only reason why I mentioned
No, I
it.
know.
I didn't know it was going
intend
to hurt.
But here's the thing. You realize when I'm telling you how I feel about it, and you're like, that's not what it is. It's about how I interpret it. If I interpret it like that, that's how I feel about it. You can't convince me out of that. That's just my feeling.
I'm not actively trying to convince you.
Well, but you're not seeming to acknowledge what I'm feeling.
Well, maybe I think what you're feeling is stupid, and I don't want to go into the weeds.
So if that's how you feel about it, why would I ever want to discuss it with you again? If you're not gonna acknowledge me and show that you care about what I'm feeling. People, why would I want to like I'm like, all right, well, this guy doesn't respect me enough to care how I feel in a moment. So why am I gonna you know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to take away from that?
So you feel disrespected by me saying that you're bombing?
No, I feel disrespected now by you saying that you don't care how I feel.
Well, I don't care enough about this argument because this argument.
It doesn't matter if I feel bad about it and you don't care about that. Why then I feel bad. I'm like my feelings are what they are. So you're not gonna convince me out of them.
I acknowledge that you feel bad.
But the fact that you don't care about it.
Bad.
The fact that you don't care about it.
How do you want me to feel bad that you feel bad?
Yeah, I guess. No, you don't have to feel bad, but at least like act in a manner like, all right, I'm sorry, moving on, like to the point where you can acknowledge it and try to respect it. Try to respect it, basically.
Well, I'm sorry that you feel bad. Let's move on to your bomb here.
See, that was a smart ass fucking answer. That showed you didn't really care what I'm trying to say.
I do care, but I'm also a smart ass.
Well, it's confusing sometimes, and I think you should be able to understand that.
I feel like you should be able to go with the flow.
Why?
Because it's part of...
So if something genuinely bothers me, I should act like it doesn't?
I personally don't think that anything about this conversation should bother you in the
That's not for you to
place.
decide, though.
That's fine, but I'm telling you how I feel, and you're not acknowledging the way that I feel right now, because I feel like you shouldn't be bothered in the first place. But that's fine. Even though you just disrespected and disregarded my opinion.
You're being a smartass.
No, you did. That's exactly what you just did.
No, because
that's exactly what you just.
That's not how this works. At all.
So it was that you're allowed to.
If I call you, if I call you something really like bad and foul, and you get bothered by that, and then you say like,
did I say something really bad and foul about you?
I'm giving an example.
Did I say something really bad?
No, it's about the principle.
Okay, so if the principle isn't that I said something really bad and foul about you, then how does it relate?
Well, I'm gonna get there. I'm trying to make the point.
Because the point is, I disregarded your feelings. How I disregarded your opinion, right?
When?
Earlier in this conversation.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say why that's different than what I said.
Okay, how's it different?
Because, well, let me gather my thoughts. You're gonna, you can't. No, let me gather my thoughts. So, if you say something, person perceives it negatively, their feelings are hurt, and they say that, and the other person, the first person disregards that, then the person that said the original thing that was hurtful says, I don't think it's hurtful, and they say, well, that's whatever. Oh, you disregarded my opinion, it wasn't hurtful, because the person who the person who's saying the second thing, they're the ones that are not being empathetic to the first person. So
neither of us are being empathetic.
I don't have to be empathetic to someone not being empathetic to me.
I don't have to be empathetic to you. Don't have to be empathetic to anyone. Period.
But
I don't have to be empathetic to you. Period. No,
being a good person, you should be.
Being a good person means agreeing with you all the time.
No, it doesn't. I never said that.
That's what it feels like. In my
and
you just disregarded that opinion.
No, I didn't. Now that you said that, I can acknowledge that.
Yes.
I acknowledge that it could feel that way, and I'm sorry for that. I don't mean it to seem that way. I'm okay with disagreements. It's a matter of taking it out of context and disingenuous and in bad faith. That's when I have a problem. If you says genuine, you know exactly what I mean, and you genuinely disagree, fine. If you assume before I can explain, or you purposely try to frame it a certain way to make yourself look cool or more entertaining, but it's not really what I'm saying. You portray it not really as what I'm saying. That's different. If you genuinely hear it out and you disagree, that's totally fine. And I'm sorry that it doesn't come across that way.
So what started this argument?
Why does it matter? What started is because the way you were talking about me in this video, I felt was disrespectful and hurtful to some extent. Not even hurtful. It was like you were just assuming shit and characterizing it a certain way, and not really what it was.
What did I assume?
Why do we need to go back to that? Why is that relevant?
Because I want to figure out.
All right, fine. All right, you're out of point there. Fine. What it is that. So you can critique something like neutrally, or you could do it in a way that's like, you fucked this up. Why would you ever think this? Why did you think that? Nothing they said before got their attention. Why would you do? That's totally different than saying, right here, they weren't really paying attention, so maybe you should have done this. Instead of being like, why would they do this? You, why would you say that? That's very different. You don't hear the difference in the tone and the word choice there?
I don't see enough of a difference to validate the level of attention that has.
It doesn't have to be, because you don't have to. It doesn't have to make sense to you. If I feel a certain way about it, that's what I feel.
You asked me a question and I'm answering your question.
But you're missing the point, though.
No, I'm not missing. I'm understanding the point, and also I'm asking you these questions to help me understand the point.
All right, fine.
And when I try to explain how I feel based on that, you're like, oh,
because you can't seem to explain how you feel without dismissing how I feel at the same time. You don't have to do that. You can just say how you feel about it.
Well, part of how I feel is dismissive of how you feel.
Right, so I'm naturally not going to like that. What do you want?
Okay, well, I don't like that you don't like it. I honestly dislike that we're having this argument.
So how are we supposed to proceed then if you don't want to meet me in that direction?
I'm not saying that I'm unwilling to meet you, but I am saying, like, I don't see something that I don't see anything worth stopping us from.
But let's say I feel like it is worth it. Let's say I feel like it is worth it.
Okay. And
so it's totally subjective. You can say you don't see. I can say I do see.
Yes, completely subjective. Okay. I feel like we've had enough of an argument and a back and forth to continue and proceed.
Maybe for you.
So you don't think so?
I gotta pee, honestly.
God damn.
I gotta pee. What do you want me to do? If I have to pee, I have to pee.
I want you to pee before we record.
I do pee before I record. I have to pee like every hour.
I want you to control your plan.
I can't control it. I mean, I can control it, but I know I'm not.
Okay, fine.
So I'm gonna tell you how to your bowel movements and urine movements. Come on. People do this in podcasts all the time. Somebody gets up to pee. I've heard it plenty of times.
It's unprofessional. And also, we're in the middle of reacting to your video, so now I'm gonna hold down the
Fine,
floor.
react to my fucking video.
So did you really have to pee, or were you just trying to get out of reaction?
No, I really have to pee.
Then go pee. I'm just gonna complain about it. How you doing, Chad?
Manny, you and I can hold down the fort.
Yeah, we've got it. I'm sorry you had to. I'm sorry you had to sit through that.
No. I see both your viewpoints, but I will say, I do think that kind of joke that he was going for, I think that it's all on the area that you're doing it at, because there's a lot of people that are going to love that kind of, like, love the type of drugs that he's talking about. So it's like, if you're critiquing that, it's not going to go over well with the crowd. You gotta know the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, that it seems pretty obvious to me. Like, yeah, you gotta read the crowd, and they either gonna like your joke or not like your joke. And it's not even, for me, it's not even the fact that the joke didn't go over well. It's how he's reacted to the joke not going over well. It's like people have bad sex all the time. It's it's all
part of the journey. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's also just like
There's not one perfect comedian. Like everybody bombs, everybody has good sets. You know, sometimes it's just kind of a middle of the road. Like sometimes the audience is just like, you know,
yeah,
is what it is.
and this crowd that he's in front, what Tootsie's this open mic I've been there. It's a bad place for comedy. All of my best jokes have started arguments with the crowd or things have turned. And honestly, I use that to write new material. So one of my new favorite jokes came from an argument that I had while going with one of my old reliables that bombed there, and I was like, oh wow, well, you start.
And from what it sounds, not to cut you off, but also from what it sounds like, it seems like that type of crowd is really good in terms of like working on crowd work as opposed to working on the material. From what it seems like.
That's and that's you've got a good point there. That's what it's the best for is like they don't want to listen to you read your diary. They want to talk to you, have a conversation. Everyone in that crowd thinks that they're funnier than you, so you might as well give them a chance to conversate.
Talking about these people?
Yeah.
They're not comedians. They're not trying to be funnier than me.
I would disagree with you. I mean, yes, they're not comedians, but they do think that they're funny, and they are trying to be funnier than you.
Fine. Can we check
That's
Instagram
what
real
makes
quick?
them really hostile. Sure, we can check Instagram real quick.
I just want to see who was. No one's watching, but they were watching. Okay.
Okay.
I just want to see who it was.
That's fine.
I was hoping they would message back to tell me, Dennis, I support you. But,
Well.
or they would comment that, but whatever. Look, I don't want to do this reaction to the second video. This one's already getting undermined. Let's finish this one. I don't want to react. Let's do this.
The second one's the more interesting.
I know, but I'm already fucking riled up from this one.
It's fine. We were saying some very nice things about you while you were gone.
Why does it have to be when I'm gone and not when I'm here?
Because every time I try to say something while you're here, because honestly you're just in a shitty mood and it's hard to say.
I was in a good mood.
It's hard to say stuff about someone who's...
You mean right now?
Yes.
I was in a great mood when I picked you up.
Shitty mood right now.
I was in a great mood. I got in a shitty mood from watching this video.
Okay, well...
So I think maybe it's not you, maybe it's just the video.
I also think that, but you spend a lot of time blaming me and not the video.
I can't blame the video because it's not a thing that can respond.
Oh, so you think it would be stupid to blame the video, even though
No.
that's what...
It's both you and the video, but I admit the video put me on edge. So why would I want to put myself even more on edge with the second one, which is even worse?
Because it's entertainment.
So at the expense of my calmness?
Because being calm isn't like the holiest of...
Okay, at the expense of my mental well-being?
Is it really that damaging?
The second one might be, I don't know. Depending on what you say about it.
Okay.
I'm not kidding you.
Okay.
You've seen my statuses. I can go into a fucking spiral quick.
I'm saying okay.
Alright.
But let's get through this one.
Fine, okay, just please.
Okay.
Keep your comments in some way respectful. You can criticize, but keep it respectful.
I'll try
Thank
my
you.
best.
That's all I can ask for. Thank you.
You know, my first my first line of duty is to the audience.
Really?
My second line of duty is to you.
So you
as
think
my
that if you...
co-host. My third is to my own mental sanity.
That's fair, but...
I knew you would think it was fair.
Here's the
I
thing.
put you above myself.
Here's the thing. That's not what I meant. Here's the thing. If you're saying that your duty to me is less than to the audience, if you act like that, why would your partner in crime, so to speak, you gotta have a good relationship with them if you're gonna do a project with them. So to say that is like...
I think we do have a good relationship normally. Yes.
Normally, but today, I don't know.
The video's putting you on edge, but you also promised the audience that we would watch both of these videos.
We promised them lots of things that we didn't do.
No, we mostly just promised them that we'd watch both of these videos.
Fine, but if we watch the second one, I don't know.
What if you guys just showed this one and then the second one another day?
That's what I said, but he doesn't want to do it.
I'm personally more curious to see the second one.
Do you want to just cut this one off then? There's nothing else. Well, there's one point where she starts chanting at me.
Yeah, let's finish this one. We're already
fine. All right, just please.
I feel
try
like
to be. You can criticize me, but be respectful. Because I'm telling you, I know I'm gonna get set off if not.
Just that you do know how, like, as someone who's just me being myself, people call me a troll all the time. The whole "I'm telling you, you better not push this button" is, you understand how tempting that is to me as.
So how do I communicate it to you where it's not tempting?
I don't know. I'm just informing you of the facts.
I get that. I'm like that
and it's
too.
It's also like, you know how, like, and every time I try to set up and I'm slightly frustrated and I'm like, don't read the pin out loud, and you're like, I'm gonna read the pin.
I haven't done that since
well, I'm not gonna not read the pin, but say something just as distracting at the same time.
That's a joke. I can't.
Everything I'm doing just sounds a joke.
It doesn't sound like that.
It is a joke.
Fuck it. Just play.
Just because you're not laughing.
Just fucking play it. Just play it.
Okay, Dennis. So I'll play it.
I'm waiting until I. So when I was writing that joke, I'm like a substitute teacher. I'm like, all right.
I'm on Katie's side in order to couple.
No, you don't even know what the conflict was about.
Doesn't matter. I'm on Katie's side.
Of course.
So, because I've tried yelling over people before, that doesn't work. So I figured I'd just be quiet. I'm just not gonna say anything at all. I'll let them do their thing. Okay. Everyone's enjoying themselves. That's good. I'm like halfway. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous, to be honest. I know. So anyway, when I was writing that joke about my parents, about the pussy and all that, eating my parents out, I was nervous about writing that joke. I wasn't sure if I should say it. I didn't know how relatable it would be. But then someone at another mic was like, that's very relatable. I was like, damn, I never thought I'd be this happy to hear about somebody probably getting molested, you know? Never thought I'd hear this. But anyway, so I was hanging out with my wife's family the other day, a couple months ago. And I don't know who's laughing at me, who's laughing at their side comment. I don't know what's going on. But, anyway, I was with my wife's family, and her uncle, what?
As we're talking, you're like, I don't know if they're laughing at me or at something else. And then I'm listening to what you're saying, just like, I don't know if you guys are laughing at me or at a side conversation.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah. It's just,
Yeah, it is. It's a coincidence.
It rhymes.
I don't know. Anyway, fuck. I have ADD. This is very distracting to me. Anything happening in my perimeter, I'm like, that's all I can focus on. I gotta wear noise canceling headphones. Then I won't hear the laughs, but there aren't any anyway, so I'm not missing much. Hanging out with my wife's family, her uncle goes, I used to love to gamble, but I had to stop playing blackjack with Oriental dealers, right?
You need to do something bad in your life, man. You gotta like 2 grand sport, man. You need to do some bad shit. All the good shit ain't working. Just do bad shit.
You want to hear about being in a metal
I heard.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah. Why do you think he said that?
Because I said the drug thing, and then because you know why? Because I'm not talking about fucking bitches and doing drugs. That's why. Because that's all he wants to hear about. He literally kind of said that. So that's all they want to hear about. They want to hear about sensational crap like that.
Yeah. Just something that entertains them.
Yeah, exactly. Something that entertains them. They're not of a caliber to understand anything more.
Because, they expect the person on the stage to be entertaining.
Well, if they had a broader perspective and could think about more things than just their immediate experience and had an open mind, then they'd be entertained. Because I've made similar jokes in many places, at Helium, in Doylestown, the Comedy Cabaret. I did some of these jokes in the showcase you saw me at last week. People like them. So some people can think a little bit outside of what they're used to, and some people only want to hear a certain thing because they're very limited mentally.
So you think if all these people...
Not all of them. The ones that were saying that shit. Let me clarify.
Okay, if you think that guy specifically...
Yeah, I think he's pretty dumb.
What if... So right now he's in a situation where he's at a bar, he's trying to sell coke, he's trying to talk to bitches.
I'm supposed to be sympathetic that he's trying to sell coke and I'm ruining his selling of coke?
I'm not asking you to be sympathetic.
Okay.
But I'm painting a picture for you. This guy, he's at a bar, he's trying to sell coke, he's trying to talk to bitches, he's trying to have a good time. He sees you there, you're saying some stuff, none of it sounds interesting to him. So, but take the same guy, put him in a seat in Helium or Comedy Cabaret, have him already warmed up listening to other comics, sitting in a situation where he's almost forced to pay attention.
Well, yeah, that's what I like, those situations.
Okay, I'm saying this guy specifically, if he was in there,
I don't know him enough to know.
But you just told me that he's too dumb to laugh no matter what.
No.
That's what you told me.
He's not dumb because he's not laughing. He's dumb because of the things he... I don't mean that he's dumb, even like low IQ. I just mean that he's like very closed-minded and has a very limited perspective on life.
Okay.
And not because he didn't laugh, but because of his responses, because of what he says to me. He's like, you need to do more bad shit. Then you got something to talk about. If you're the kind of person that you think the only thing interesting to hear about is people doing bad shit, I was going to tell him, I was going to say, yeah, you need to do less bad shit. Or so. No, I was going to be like, he said, you need to do more bad shit. I was going to be like, well, you seem like you do a lot of bad shit. How's your life turning out? How's your kids? How many of them you got? How many mothers, by the way, to all those kids, huh? How you doing? How's your finances? How's your mental health? You been in prison lately? I was going to tell him all that shit. Since he wants to do all this bad shit, that's what happens when you do bad shit. That's an ignorant perspective.
Well, let's see what you did tell him.
I didn't go offensive because I knew that with someone like that who's I know is like trying to sell coke, like I don't want to like that could literally turn into a confrontation that I don't want. So I just kind of tried to play it off.
Well, so you're willing to talk about all the confrontational shit that you would have said on...
Well, I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna literally do it to someone that could possibly be dangerous. Why would I do that?
And also, did you know that he was trying to sell coke at this moment, or I thought it wasn't until...
Okay, I didn't know that, but okay, fine. I didn't know that part, but from his general attitude, I felt like he wouldn't be one to take being disrespected kindly. Just like I'm not. The difference is I wouldn't get violent about it, whereas he maybe would.
Okay. But, so...
And by the way, it's not a racial thing. It's because of his fucking attitude.
Okay.
People watching are gonna make it about that. It's not what it's about. It's about the attitude, the general demeanor. I would never think that guy in the bucket hat would do that.
Okay.
So...
Alright, but my original point is like this guy I feel like might have reacted to you differently in a different setting.
Yeah, maybe we'll never know. That's why I don't like these settings. I like settings where you are paying attention.
But it's like maybe instead of doing the same thing in different settings.
Well, I don't know how to do that much in this setting. What are you gonna do if people are not listening? Period. As soon as you start.
Well, they were listening to some stuff. Figure out what they do listen to. He gave some suggestions. He gave bad suggestions because he's not a comedian. But I guarantee you, there's something that you could have talked about and would have been
right. But in that moment,
that he would have been willing to listen.
But in that moment, I don't remember every single joke I ever wrote. It's hard to come up with it, boom, in the spot. Like, I mean, sometimes I'm good at that.
I mean, it's hard. But no one said comedy's supposed to be easy.
I know that. But I'm telling you why I can't fucking be perfect every moment and think of the best joke every time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that, hey, maybe instead of... This room is where I practice giving TED Talk type jokes. It's where I practice working on crowd work. Maybe
I didn't know that at the time.
I feel like halfway through your set, you should have been able to figure
Buddy,
this out.
like I said, I was anxious. I was unsettled. Have you ever felt that way? It's hard to think clearly in that moment.
I have. You don't have to think the clearest. I feel like that's instinctually something you should work. But also, I'm not doing this to criticize you as a person, as a comic. I'm just saying that...
Fine, you're right, fine.
I'm not, it's not even a right versus wrong thing. I'm just...
Fine, all right, fine. No, you got a point. You have a point. I'm just telling you, it's not that easy to do.
Yeah,
but
I mean, of course, it's not easy. But
okay. I won't get defensive anymore because I see your point.
Yeah, you've got.
I was just saying you don't do a lot of crowd work.
I do when I'm in Watusi.
And how does it work out?
Sometimes well, sometimes not.
So it's not that easy to do.
I'm not saying that it's guaranteed to work well, but I'm saying, hey, this is what I'm practicing when I'm in this.
Fine, but I don't really go to these kind of bars where no one's. I don't go to that anymore. It just fucks with me too much. Maybe later I'll go when
but
I feel better about it.
I'm not saying that you should or you shouldn't. I'm just saying, hey, if you're there, maybe you should realize, as a comedian, you know how you have more than one joke.
Of course.
You should have more than one skill set
And
that you can
I'm
pull
practicing.
out.
When I was at the showcase last week, I did plenty of engaging with the crowd.
Yeah.
And it worked out well.
I'm not going to say plenty, but you did more than usual. You did.
All right, fine.
Plenty is a generous adjective.
I did like at least 5 times. That's a lot. Out of 10 minutes, that's a lot.
You did more than usual, and it didn't go well.
Thank you.
And you did better than a lot of comedians who were on that showcase.
Thank you.
Some of whom I've heard talk shit about you before. And I told one of them, Dennis B had a much better set than you tonight.
I genuinely really appreciate that. Who talks shit?
I'm not going to... If they want to call in and talk shit, then they can
I don't
call
even
in
understand
and
what
talk
you
shit.
mean, because the people on that, I don't even know them. Most of them. I don't, like Uncle Tone, I've seen him like twice. He doesn't really know me.
I'm not talking about Uncle Tony.
Yeah, I wouldn't think you would be.
Yeah.
Phil, I've never seen in my life.
Yeah, I'm also not talking about Phil.
So it wasn't the 4 main ones. It was the like the beginner ones, like the beginning.
Now we're playing the game of elimination.
Oh, I know who it is. I think it's between like 3 people. I know it's not Keith because he's never seen me before. All right, cool. All right, fuck them then. But thank you for sticking up for me. But fuck them.
But
I didn't think whoever. Alright, whatever. Fuck it. Now I'm gonna get more agitated. Not at you this time. At whoever that person was.
oh man,
Does he have long hair that he like kind of like me that he wears in a bun or a ponytail?
I'm not giving any more.
You'll tell me after the show.
I'm definitely not telling you after
Why?
the show, because it would be much more entertaining to tell you on the show.
So why are you telling me that?
Because I try to respect people's privacy and boundaries.
Privacy.
I mean, whatever jokes that they made at your expense, they made in confidence. And
So people are making jokes at my expense. See, you telling me all this shit. You see what I've been posting. I don't know how to feel when people say this. I don't know if people are actually making fun of me. So this confirms that there are some people that are doing that.
It's not someone who reacts to your Facebook.
I know,
post.
but is it someone that is nice to me in my face?
I don't know how they are to yours.
So if it's someone that's nice to me in my face that acts like they're my friend, then it's more hurtful. If it's some random person,
I don't. But there was someone who was like that they said that they were gonna kill, and I said okay. That's fine, and they're like, "Oh, there's no way Dennis B's gonna be good. That's your." I think they were more making fun of me, and that's your co-host. And I'm like, "Nah, I feel like Dennis B's gonna." I actually didn't say anything before you went on stage, but after you went on stage, I was like, "Dennis B did better than you."
what did they say? Well, thank you, I appreciate that. What did they say?
They came up with a bunch of excuses for why they didn't do as good as they said that they.
Was it a white person that said that?
They were white. I'll tell you that.
All right, then I don't care as much.
We already eliminated all the black people.
If the black one said it, I'd be more bothered. But if the white guy said it, fine.
Alright. Well, is there more to this?
Yeah, there's 30 seconds.
Hey, what alright, what do you guys over here talking about? No, I already finished. No, you say
At this point, what's going through your head? Like the host will tell you to keep going there, saying.
What's going through my head is I really want to keep going because I'll feel better. Like I don't want to like give up, and I don't want to the hosts. I don't want to like disappoint them. But then I'm thinking whatever I'll say after this is gonna completely derail everything because what I wanted to say was a bunch of insults, calling them stupid and everything like that. I knew that wasn't gonna work, so I felt like whatever, fuck it, I'll just take the loss on this one.
Alright, so my advice, personally, what I would do in this situation, stand on business. I'd
Call them stupid?
I'd have gone, yeah.
That wouldn't do any better. I've done that before. You'll see on the second video. It doesn't work out well.
Okay, well, I haven't seen the second.
Here's the
video
thing,
yet.
also, if they don't like the set, that's one thing. There's no reason to start chanting "end the set" in my face. That's rude, completely unnecessary.
Tell them that.
But it is though. Do you agree? It's very. You don't laugh, don't laugh. But to do that is so rude and disrespectful.
I'm not here to judge the crowd. I'm here to judge.
Why aren't you here to judge the crowd? Why can't you judge both of us? To be fair.
Because I don't. You don't
know them?
No, because the crowd is going to be the crowd.
That doesn't mean that they're right or wrong. Like
the customer's always right.
Bullshit. That's part of the problem with a lot of businesses, by the way.
Fine, but it's a statement for a reason.
Yeah, but you know why? I know why it is. It doesn't mean it's right, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, I mean well, it's partly because
they don't want to lose business.
No, I was going to say it's partly because the phrase is the customer's always right in matters of taste, and not the customer's always right, but people just shorted the phrase.
Right. So yeah, exactly. But taste is fine.
But also, well, this is a matter of taste.
Yeah, but you don't have to do this and the set. That's not taste. You could dislike that and not do that.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there being a bad crowd, but it's also
her in particular.
You're gonna have bad crowds, and
dude, two things are fucking true. I'm gonna have it. I should learn to deal with it. She's still an asshole. Why can't we acknowledge that these two things are true?
Two things are true. It's a bad crowd, but also I'm gonna say it. I'm also like I'm more focused in what's inside.
Wait, you know what? I just realized that's part of the reason I got so upset earlier. Because you pointed out everything wrong with what I did and not with what they did. So I feel like you weren't being fair to me, because it takes two to make it a good or a bad experience.
Well, also, but what's in your circle of control is how you respond.
I know that, but when you say it like that, that makes me feel like you don't think they're wrong at all.
Well, I'm
not. Can I get my 2 cents?
What?
Can I get my 2 cents?
Yes.
All right. So right away, the crowd clearly just, they don't care who's up there. Right away, it seems like it's a bad crowd. So it seems like it's one of those sets where you want to focus on like the crowd work. I was telling Manny this. So, and even then, there was no winning in that situation, because you're dealing with a crowd that they think that they're funnier than the person that's on stage, and there's real no winning with that. So it's like you almost have to like switch it up. But I think that's what Manny was trying to say. I could be wrong.
That's
just.
But see how he said it? He wasn't rude to me or disrespectful to me or anything like that. He just said it like, okay, fair enough.
I would say that I wasn't rude or disrespectful, but you take it more harshly coming from me.
No, it's just not because of you in particular. It's not like Manny means his heart. It's just the way it's said. If Chad said it harshly, I'd get offended by that too. But all right, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, and I know you guys have it's very difficult. You guys are doing because it's like you're putting yourself out there, and for 5 minutes, like you're hoping that the crowd is going to be listening to everything you're saying and understanding nuance. But the reality is, the everyday person might not necessarily be interested in like nuance. So it's a balancing act. It's very difficult.
But here's the thing: the everyday person, they might not be interested, so they might not like it, so they might not laugh or pay attention. But that doesn't mean they have to go out of their way to shout things out and be rude and mean. Like, they can just not like it and just focus on something else. There's people who have never learned how to really be polite, I guess.
Alright, so here's why I'm criticizing you and not the crowd. No one goes to open mics to be a better crowd member.
Well, alright, forget it. Keep going. It's not even about being a better crowd. It's about being a better human being in all of matters of life. You shouldn't do that. Well, if you're like, you shouldn't act the way she acted in any facet of life.
I mean, honestly, if there was a place to do it, the crowd of a comedy club is one of the best places. But
what fucking selfish people don't realize that people like us are putting ourselves out there, and it's already one thing if they don't like it. They're actually going to actively shout out, end the set. They don't understand how that feels to the person on. They don't have fucking empathy for that. If they don't, they're not a very good person.
Well, I mean, sure.
Not that there's anything wrong. Not that there's anything wrong with degenerative behavior, but that is the crowd in itself that you're getting yourself into.
Whatever.
And they're at a bar trying to enjoy themselves, trying to eat chicken wings. Whatever you're saying, what if you're annoying them just by saying it?
Then just shut the fuck up and I'll be down. Comics say shit that annoy me. I don't yell. Well, I have before when I was in the back, but most of the time, I don't yell shit out for them to stop talking.
Yeah,
Because I respect it.
Well, they're not there for the respect of the art form.
No, what about the respect of their fellow human fucking beings, though?
Well, their fellow human beings is being annoyed and trying to...
You keep going. Play the fuck. I'm
that,
really on my last nerve. Play the video.
Their fellow human being is...
I'm not intentionally trying to annoy them. I'm doing something that's not to their taste.
You're not intentionally trying to annoy them, but end result is that...
So just because someone's annoyed, that gives them a right to be a fucking prick?
I mean... It depends on a lot. You're simplifying things down. You're not adding any nuance into this.
I will say this. One of the reasons...
I feel like we shouldn't have done this. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I remember... One of the things, Dennis, I remember when I did actually go to one of your sets, I remember afterwards you were like, oh, Chad, like, you know, you did deck collections, like, you have a lot of quotes and everything, a lot of funny stories, and I remember you saying, like, that I should go do it. And one of the reasons why I don't is because I just know that the crowds there are just, like, they're so brutal. And going with what you're saying, like, yeah, they don't really look at you as a human being, even though I do think that they should. Most of the crowd doesn't, though, unfortunately. Sometimes you will get a good crowd.
That's true in certain facets. Like, there's also, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of mics and shows where the crowd is not like this at all. So I don't want it to seem like this is most of the time. It's certain places, depending on if it's like what the establishment is like, how the room is set up, things like that they can be like what you just said. But some of them they are respectful and cool. Like, and sometimes I'm surprised. I'm like, this place. Or even if they're just regular people, even if they're just regular people that don't care too much about the art form, it's just sometimes certain people are just more respectful. I don't know, like, and sometimes I've been surprised. I've been at a place where I'm like, oh, they're gonna fucking be brutal here, and they weren't, you know. And there's been places I thought they'd be cool, and they weren't cool. So you don't always know. But what you're saying is true. A lot of times they don't look at you as a human being, which is insane because, like, I don't play the fucking. I don't know, like, there's a music open mic, I don't play guitar, right? But if someone's doing their best out there, even if I don't like it, I'm not going to fucking go, boo, end the set, right to their face, to this beginner who's putting themselves out there. I'm not going to do that, because that's just mean and unkind and fucking rude. I don't like it, I won't really listen, but I'm not going to fucking yell in their face to fucking stop doing it. That's all.
Right.
So if people don't have that sense, they've never learned manners.
And I don't think Manny would either. In fact, I would say I don't think Manny's against you. I think what Manny's just trying to say is that it seems like that's just kind of how it is in regards to the comedy scene. Again, not saying it's right. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying it seems like that's what it is. As a
I
third
understand.
party.
That's why I avoid certain places.
No, yeah, it is how it is. I mean,
but somehow he said it in a way that's so much nicer.
Because I get to play bad cop, and then he's good cop afterwards. I make the point, and then he gets to re-say it.
Alright, fine. But we're done with this video, basically.
He also doesn't have to deal with your high energy anxiousness.
I gotta be honest, he's very calm always. Like Chad, like he's almost too calm. Like, but he doesn't really get. I don't know.
Yeah, well, for perspective, Manny. I used to be a debt collector for like years, so I had to be. Like, there were so many laws and regulations I had to follow. So my whole job was to de-escalate, because a lot of times people would call in and they'd be like so angry that they were, in debt and everything, and I had to calm them down and then get them on a payment plan.
So you would just be doing your job, and someone would call and be angry and yelling at you and telling you to stop doing your job the way that you're doing. And you would have to be calm in the face of that. You wouldn't tag up and complain about how that person was a bad person.
He did complain about it after.
No, and there were some times where, honestly, even my calmness, where they would want me to escalate it to their level, and when I wasn't, and I was just staying calm, they would get more angry.
That could get annoying.
One of those things where that was.
Yeah, that could get annoying too, because then it feels like you're not taking the person seriously if you're not getting like if you're just really super calm the whole time. It feels like, do you even care? That's how it can feel sometimes.
And sometimes it's funny you say it though, because it is weird, because I remember one time I didn't snap, like I wasn't like freaking out, but there was one instance where I did just go on a full tangent, and then at that point, that's when they were like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." They said I'm
That's
sorry,
true,
and
'cause
that's something
then
I'm like, "Wow,
makes
I've never
perfect
heard."
sense. Because they see that you're not a fucking robot. They see you're a human being with emotions too. And so then they feel bad for being rude to you because they see, oh, they must have upset you. But if you're just like a fucking robot, they'll be like, this fucking guy has no emotions, so I don't feel bad about being rude to him because he's just a fucking robot, and it's going to annoy me that he's a fucking robot.
Okay.
So it can go either way, I guess.
So if you're...
It's a balancing act.
If you're in this situation and your response is to just...
Wait, which situation?
This situation that's on the screen right now of dealing with hecklers, and your response is to just I've got these jokes in my head, I'm gonna hit play in my mind, like the metaphorical play button, and resume telling the jokes in the exact same manner that I always tell them, versus I'm going to...
I already admitted that.
I'm going to react to the crowd.
I already admitted that I had a hard time doing that.
Can I finish my question?
I know where you're going with it.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Or at least let me finish. That would be polite.
You're right.
That would be being a decent human being.
You're right. Fine. You're right about that. Fine. Go ahead. Sorry.
Alright, so your response is to either respond in the same one-track mind versus be real with them. Are they more likely to see you as a human being versus a robot if you act in the one-track mind, or if you go on the tangent and interact with them?
I said, oh, I'm so nervous up here, and then I was like, I don't know how to feel. I did do a little. I was vulnerable, actually. They didn't care.
You also did that at the times when they weren't listening versus right now when they are listening. And
well, because
also, the way I'm nervous, I'm vulnerable, that does sound like something that might just be built in. That's not something that's gonna...
Mine was totally real. I don't do that unless I really feel that way.
Well,
and I think you could tell, but maybe they could.
I agree, but I don't think that they could.
Well, I didn't know what else to do. All right, I fucked up. We can agree on that? I fucked up, all right? I fucked up. All right, there's also, I can show you a bunch of videos where I did great.
We can.
Can we, next week, can we react to a video where I did great?
I think that would be far less interesting. No, I'm sorry, but no one wants to watch you jacking off.
Fine. Well, off camera, can I show you a video where I did great?
I've seen you do great multiple times.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you. But I feel like that gets lost in the sauce. But okay. Fine. We're done with this video. Just end the video. I don't want to look at this video.
All right. So you're ready to move on to the second video.
But can we stop it not as often? Because I don't want to go for another 3 hours on it. And believe me, this one we can go for a long time because there's a lot of crazy shit. See, let's just try to watch it in bigger chunks.
All right, we'll try.
After this fucking, I'm gonna need to like calm down after this whole podcast. Like, I don't know.
This feeling that you're feeling right now is why comics smoke cigarettes.
Right, but see, I can feel it and not do it.
You can, but I'm just...
So I'm fucking better.
But it's like that.
I get it.
I know the energy that you're rating. This is the rate. This is like that. I need a
Does
damn
it ever
cigarette.
actually help though when you smoke it? How does it doesn't help?
It does. It calms you down.
For what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, in long term, it does more damage.
No, but even not even like years long term. Does it even help you for more than like even like the rest of the day? Do you feel more calm?
Maybe. All I'm saying is immediately in this moment, you're high energy, you're strung up, I need to do something, it'll calm you down while you're smoking.
But how come I can deal with it without resorting to cigarettes or drugs, and other people can't?
People can. It's not a can.
Well, they're addicted to it, so.
Well, that's a whole different question. I'm just saying that this feeling right now.
All right, fine. I get it.
Having a cigarette would calm you down.
I feel like I'm smoking.
Do you know why it calms you down? Because you're addicted to it, and you satisfy your addiction, so you don't go through withdrawal anymore.
Yeah.
So you're only just so.
But also, it calms you down for other reasons. But that is the biggest one after a while. Because after a while, it makes you more anxious without.
So let's give myself an addiction so that I can calm myself down by keeping that addiction going when I could have just not given myself that addiction in the first place. That makes sense. No, but okay, I get what you're saying though.
So you're just being disingenuous.
No, I'm being.
So you're just dismissing my.
No. I get what you're saying. I just think that these people need to find better ways of handling this type of energy. That's all. I get how they feel. I empathize, but you should still be able to handle it better.
Well, I'm gonna say you're not doing a great job of handling it right now yourself.
But I'm not doing anything self-destructive to myself. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not hurting anybody else. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
That's fine, but you're also not doing a great job of handling it right now yourself.
But that's not. All right. That's not what I meant. All right, keep going.
I'm saying.
There's also other things like. There's also other things, just again being a moderator here, but there's other things too other than like smoking. Like there's also caffeine, there's sugar,
but that's
there's
that too,
MSG. There's
but no one was like, oh, I'm stressed out. Let me eat some MSG. But yeah,
there are people.
I mean, honestly, sugar is more addictive than cigarettes. You can look it up. It's more addictive.
I can believe that.
More addictive
I don't really eat stuff with sugar in it either, to be honest.
It's more damaging. Yeah.
Here's the thing. There's stuff you can do. You can meditate. You can take a walk. You can listen to music. You can work out. You can even jerk off. Even that's better. I mean, that's harmless, and that there's lots of things you could do.
So next time you have this exact feeling at the open mic, you do step outside and jerk off real quick.
No, at the mic I can't do that. But at the mic I would just leave and I would take the car ride home to kind of just meditate and just let my brain kind of not think about it.
I'm just saying, like.
While Manny and Steve are outside smoking cigarettes. While Manny and Steve are outside smoking cigarettes, Dennis is off to the side jerking off.
I mean, I'd rather they do it for me. But.
I'm saying I'm a week and a half off of smoking.
Oh, really? Nice.
But yeah,
good job.
Oh, good for you, man.
That's not a big deal for me because I also haven't gone to open mics in about a week.
So it's that place that makes you stressed to do it, or not stressed, but pressure to do it.
Yeah, I'm more likely to smoke if I go to.
Well, that makes sense. So how are you gonna deal with that?
I don't know. I'm probably gonna start smoking again. Honestly,
you should. Why not vape? Maybe.
I hate vaping. It doesn't.
Honestly, I feel like that's worse.
I mean, it depends, but whatever. We're getting.
But I'm saying that right now, this whole interaction really makes me want a cigarette.
I'm sorry.
You don't
I feel how I feel, but I get it.
No, I'm fine. You don't have to apologize. I'm just letting it be known. I'm like, oh man, I am tense right now. I could use a damn smoke.
All right. Well, I hear you.
That's fine.
I hear you.
I'm looking at you like, dude, this guy could use a damn smoke too.
Nah, but okay, I hear you. I have actual medicine that actually helps with these things. That I know it's technically a drug, but it's in a dose that is more controlled and you know what you're putting in.
I get my cigarettes prescribed from the doctor, boy.
That's right. That's right.
With your plebeian tobacco.
Exactly.
I was gonna say Adderall's pretty much speed.
What?
I was saying, yeah, Adderall's pretty much speed, legal speed.
Well, I'm not on Adderall, but I'm on another one. Yeah, I know, but it's in a controlled dose and a certain amount of times a day. I'm a psychiatrist. Oh, check in. Are you having any bad side effects? Let's switch it to this. So it's like it's controlled. The problem with like things like that is that no one that's fucking doing that recreationally is like really checking in and doing the appropriate amount, appropriate times, checking what they can mix with what they can't. They're just doing it willy-nilly. Like even like heroin, if people were to like do it where it's like very controlled, very like it would be a lot less harmful, even something like that. A lot of the problem is people that are addicts on the street or people that are addicted to it recreationally. There's no like control mechanism. There's nothing to really supervise them. They just escalate and escalate. Whereas something like this, I'm held accountable. I have a doctor. I say what I'm doing. I can only get so much, and I know what's healthy and what's not. Like so, I'm aware of the risks. So it's totally different. Like yeah. So it's a different thing. Like that's the difference between medicinal and not medicinal. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone. I always say this, Manny. Everyone has their vice. It just depends on
honestly,
what that vice is.
Chad, you said this to me the other week, and I thought about it because it's a good point. I honestly don't think I have a vice. Like, I'm not saying that to be better, but I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs recreationally. Medicinal doesn't count. That's a medicine. I have a doc, whatever. I don't gamble. I don't have like a sex addiction. I don't eat food excessively. I don't really think I have a vice. My only vice, maybe, is posting a lot on Facebook. Maybe, if you count that as a vice. Other than that, I don't have any vices. So.
I'm trying to think.
I don't think you. What do you have a vice? You don't do any of these things either.
I mean, I don't have like the obvious ones, but I do think that everyone has like something where it's like, hey, like trying to think off top of my head for me.
You eat healthy.
I don't know. I mean, like if I'm anxious, yeah, I mean, I eat healthy and I do a lot of exercise, but at the same time, I mean, there are times where it's like I don't. Like sometimes I might eat a little bit too much.
That's not a vice,
I mean,
though.
it happens.
Like, that's not a vice. That's just a matter of nobody being perfect. You can only strive to do the best you can. You're not going to be perfect. A vice is more like a habit that you do, like recurrently, that you know is bad, that you keep on doing.
But going back to what Manny's saying, so a vice can also be like when you're stressed, that's something that you turn to. So, like for example, Manny hasn't been stressed in a week or so, but when he is, that's what he turns to is cigarettes. For me,
I know,
I'm not really stressed, but when I am,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
But when I am, it might be like something like food, where it's like, oh, I might have more than 1,500 calories because normally that's how many I eat.
Well, that's
like,
already a
more
very
than
like.
15.
That's already like a very like you're very strict with that as it is. So if you have a little bit more than that, I guess it's technically a vice, but it's not. It's not. Like 1,500 is very little. Like, so if you have more than that, it's like you're not really doing anything hurtful. You're just it's a little. I guess it's a vice, but it's not like.
It's a vice that Dennis deems healthy.
No, it's a vice. It's not what I deem. It's what it is. So.
It's not. It's not what I deem. It's what it is.
But I hear.
Really,
I honestly,
I would say also social media can be looked at as a vice too, because it's like.
it can.
Don't get me wrong.
Right.
We all have social media. But it's
You're
like
right.
if you pay
No, you're right about
too
that.
much attention to it, it can be taken effectively. I mean,
You're
even
right
think
about
about
that.
it, like with today with podcasts. Like Manny and I, we didn't mean for you to have a negative reaction, but it's like it sounds like it did today, which is unfortunate, but it's
Well, that's not a vice.
But that's what's great. No, what I'm saying is sometimes social media can do that. Like YouTube is technically a social media outlet, so it's like if you use it the wrong way, it can have a negative connotation.
You're
I'm
right
speaking
about
from
that,
experience too.
But using just because something can have a negative consequence doesn't make it a vice. A vice is something you go for relief temporarily that ultimately hurts you.
I think your vice is running to use the bathroom.
No, that's my OCD, if anything. Now you just said that I need to go again, but whatever.
See, it's a vice.
It's not a vice because I don't get any joy out of it. It's just something I do. A vice is something that brings you pleasure, excitement. I don't get any excitement from going to the fucking bathroom. Yes, it is. That's what a vice is.
No.
A vice isn't just anything you do that's unhealthy. It's something you seek as an escape to give you like excitement and happiness.
Yeah, you seek using the bathroom as an escape.
All right, your vice is breathing. I mean, it's fucking stupid. Like, it's not a vice. It's a bodily function.
A bodily function can be a vice.
No, it can't. Move on.
People need to eat, but eating can also be a vice.
I would say I would say based on Dennis's definition of a vice, I would say it would probably be social media, which is fine. I mean, it's like which is fine. I mean, again, everyone has one, but it's it really just depends on person to person. Like some person might think that. One person might think that that's worse than, say, cigarettes, or one person might be like, "Oh, alcohol is worse."
True, yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, and it could be social media for me, but I am aware of it. So these days, when I find myself getting too caught up, so here's the thing: social media, when used, you can use it to a healthy extent, and it's no problem. The problem is when you go overboard. Something like heroin is no way to do it. It's like, oh, it's not so bad. I mean, unless like what I said earlier. There's no way to fucking be a heroin addict on the street and be like,
There's no way to be a social media addict and it also be healthy.
I didn't say I'm a fucking addict. Listen.
You are, but we're talking about doing something healthily versus doing something to the level that it's a vice.
It's not a vice if it doesn't affect you negatively. That is just something you do that you enjoy. It's not. That's like saying That's like saying taking a walk in the field is a vice.
It can be if you do it compulsively too much.
All right, fine, but that's not really. All right, fine, whatever. We're done with that.
Yeah.
Do you still want to do the second? I mean, we're getting really.
I do still want to do the second.
Fine. Just let's go on. I'm sorry. Let's just keep going on. I mean, let's just do it, please. I'm sorry. Just do it.
All right. So, do you want to set this one up at all?
Yeah, this one happened at Gojo, Mike in West Philly. My favorite Mike, but it happened in September 2023. There were 5 people at the mic who are not comedians. Usually it's just comedians, but these were 5 people. They didn't know there was going to be a mic. They were celebrating a birthday, and they were very drunk. And the mic started, and they were like, oh, what's going on? And Felix, the host, he was like, well, it's a mic. They're like, okay, let's stay. And they didn't want to listen from the start. They kept interjecting. They kept stepping on people's punchlines, thinking that theirs are better. They made all kinds of disrespectful commentary, and I was pissed. And also something that happened was that so they were doing their thing, and I was gonna go up in a few slots, and someone made a joke. It wasn't about me, but he said, you can see the white comedians, like when black women start getting loud, you can see the white comedians struggling in their head not to say the N-word, even like who think they're allies, but then when they have to deal with the black women being loud, they're secretly racist. And these ladies, and I was visibly upset with them, and so they kind of looked at me, and so I thought that he was implying me. I later cleared it up with him. He was not implying me, and it was just a bad moment. But besides that, I just came on stage, so I had like a chip on my shoulder already. I didn't like but also they were acting. Nobody liked how they were acting that night. I was the only one that got in a fight with them, but nobody else liked it.
So, for me to add context, Gojo's your favorite mic, right?
Yeah, it is. It's like my sanctuary.
Okay, so these people, they were not only disrespecting you,
true,
but they were disrespecting your sanctuary.
That's correct. Yeah, they were. Yeah, because this is a place I look at every week. This is like this is like I go here. It's like my fucking. Oh, I'm gonna have a good. Not a vice, because it's not bad for me. But it's like, really place a sanctuary. Place that means a lot to me. It's a place where I usually, and they weren't, and I'm just looking forward to it. I had a rough week.
Yeah,
I wanted to have a good time, and they ruined it, and I was fucking pissed.
So these black ladies,
yeah, they are. But
these black ladies talking is the equivalent of someone going into a synagogue.
No, it's
taking
not.
a shit on the
Never
floor.
said that. Never said that.
I'm just being.
Okay, well, because this makes me sound racist, so I don't want that. I have this reaction, by the way. Everybody who thinks that it's racist, they should see me in certain white audiences. I react the same way. It's not racist.
I don't know how anything I said made you sound racist.
No, not you, but it's what other people said. I just don't want people to think that.
I was just being obviously exaggerated.
All right, sorry. I'm sorry.
Effect.
It's a sensitive topic because people these days, they frame it a certain way, and I don't want it to be framed.
Oh yeah, a lot of people think you're racist because of the things that you say and do, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just making a joke.
I was gonna get fucking mad because that's ridiculous. And by the way, a lot of people don't think that. Usually people fuck it.
I'm just making a fucking joke.
Right,
okay, let's watch the clip.
All right, and please let's try to do it in bigger chunks because I can't talk about every 10 seconds with this.
Okay, we'll try to do it.
By the way, Lance right there in the corner, black guy, one of my biggest fans.
Okay.
And he was on my side. He just kind of wanted me to. He knew it was a losing battle, so he wanted me to kind of stop going at it.
Okay.
I was fucking thinner back then too. That's also triggering.
So, do you want to do any breathing exercises before I hit play?
No, it's not gonna help.
Alright.
If I had taken my propranolol, maybe it would have helped. It's a beta blocker.
Alright. So,
I was thinking about doing that on the drive over. I was like, I should probably fucking take it. I'm like, nah, it'll be okay.
Alright, well.
Alright. Just kid play.
Anything you say.
This actually was really scary.
Alright, let's see if I accidentally hit mute.
This is gonna be this is like a Joe Rogan length podcast at this point. That's fine though, but. What?
You sound really scared.
I'm scared?
You're scary.
How am I scared?
Because you said meaner and you said like that.
Wait, who's scared?
Yeah. Well, yeah, now I can hear. Sorry, there's a...
I haven't even paid attention to what the last 5 comedians have said. I've just been trying to, close my eyes and just...
because we cannot.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, we can't hear it. So that is it desktop audio?
Wait. I think.
I don't get what the difference is. It was working on the. Alright, sorry.
Alright.
I'm getting hungry too.
Monitor and
We're gonna eat after this, I hope. I'm gonna eat.
Okay. I ate not too long before you picked me up because I had time to
It's
actually.
been hours already though. You're not hungry again?
No,
That's crazy.
I actually had time to get not only breakfast but breakfast and lunch today.
At the same time?
No.
Oh, okay.
Separate meal. That's right, separate.
Right.
But yes, I had two. Usually I'm on 0 meals by the time that we record.
Oh Lord.
But I had to. But this unrelated. No one cares about that. Let's side. Hopefully we can hear this time.
She said I'm scary. Why does she think I'm scary? But she said I'm scary, yeah.
I mean, before you got on stage.
No, I didn't. What?
But before you get on stage, they were allowed for the night previous to this in your sanctuary. I'm gonna assume that you were staring down.
I was going like this. That's not scary. I'm annoyed. How does me being annoyed look scary?
Okay. I mean, also, you've got the
Nirvana shirt?
Yeah.
So fucking what?
The Nirvana's a scary band.
No, they're not. You don't know anything about white music.
I know that the lead singer.
That makes it scary? How does that make it scary?
I know that weren't they groundbreakers in emo music?
No, in grunge.
In grunge, okay. Isn't grunge
It wasn't scary.
a subset of emo?
No, it's not. It's really not.
Either way, it's fun.
It's not scary. Alright, anyway, keep going.
Grunge, it's all emotional.
That means it's scary? People being emotional is scary? I don't
You're already upset at them. And,
sorry, just keep going.
You're a fan of emotional music. They don't know what to expect.
That's because they're stereotyping me, but okay. Keep going.
Now there's no audio.
They're all teachers. That's disturbing, by the way.
Why is that disturbing?
Because how are they gonna model appropriate behavior to their students if they can't even be fucking respectful?
Oh, teachers are all degenerates.
Well, my wife's a teacher. But anyway, I know what you're saying, but that's bullshit. That's how it is. And I feel like being in school, teachers were telling me, don't act like this, don't call out, and then I know that behind the scenes they're really being just fucking hypocrites.
Yeah, teachers are all degenerate hypocrites.
I didn't know that. I thought at the time they were fucking holier than that.
I'm surprised you made it this long without learning that.
No, I learned it recently, but when I was a kid, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, that's because then you were a kid, and also it sounds like they did a good. But also, the reason why I paused is I wanted to point out, it seems like they're with you right now.
I felt like they weren't. They called me scary. That doesn't seem nice.
Yeah, they weren't with you when they said scary, but then you started talking about your feelings, and they were like, "Period." I
thought that was mockingly.
That's a shout of like, yeah, what he says. Stab.
I know what it means, but I thought they were being mocking about it. I thought they were making fun of it.
Dennis and Manny, I gotta go, but I just wanted to say I will listen to the rest of it though. But it was good
thanks
talking
for calling,
to
Chad.
you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
What was your
It's good meeting you, Manny. It's good hearing from you guys.
You two, what was your show?
Yeah, follow me, Manny, on YouTube. Yeah, I do movie reviews, top 10 lists, all that
Chad
stuff, TV
Saborin.
shows.
Chad.
Yep.
SABOURIN. Chad Saborin.
Yep.
All right, have a good one. Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye.
You too.
Bye-bye. Okay. No. Drop.
You,
Wait. Sorry, which one are we? Oh.
Read the bottom.
Okay.
Or read the 302 number.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Cool.
So I see what you're saying could be true, but in the moment it felt like they were, because you can say it, right? You could say like let's say you say facts, right? Like facts, that's true. You can say, yeah, facts. Like I agree. Or it could be like, well, I guess that one you can't. But in general, you could say things sarcastic. So I thought they were being sarcastic. But anyway.
All right. Well, that's facts.
All right. They're also drunk, to be honest.
Yeah.
See, he's trying to calm everybody down.
Yeah. Angry woman noises. And they just said that they were trying to support you.
No, that's just said. Said Jeffrey Dahmer, blah blah blah. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
She came back. See, he's trying to help.
Yeah. Personally, me as a comic, I wouldn't want someone trying to help. I'd live or die.
I want them to help.
Because
They said some crazy
a
stuff.
lot of hecklers think that they're trying to help too, you know?
Yeah, but Lance has an authoritative presence. He is helpful.
Sure, but regardless, it's like I want to live or die based on my own self.
I usually do, but if sometimes I also can admit when I need help.
That's fair.
And he's the oldest guy there. He's like the patriarch.
Okay.
So he has the power, if anybody. But he didn't. Not in this case. But
Yeah,
usually he has. Usually he has the power.
Okay. Well, anyway.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he is lawyers. I'm just giving my opinion.
All right.
On, like I'd rather. If it's me against the world when I'm on stage, I want it to be just me.
Right.
I don't need no help.
All right.
Even
I like
if
that.
I do need help,
I like
need
that.
no help. I'm not gonna say that you didn't need help in this situation.
All right. What does that even mean? I know what it means, but what does that mean?
That's just her.
She's scared I'm gonna have sex with her? That doesn't even make sense.
I mean, that's just her opinion of a joke. I mean, it doesn't.
No, but I don't understand where, like, that's not something you're scared of. Unless she's talking about race, God forbid.
Because it's a joke.
I know, but...
So, do jokes make sense? You're like, that joke didn't make sense.
Yeah, they do make sense. If they don't make sense, then they're not funny.
A lot of things don't make sense and are funny. And specifically, they're funny because they don't make sense.
So what she said, what is she trying to say?
I don't know. It's a joke. She's trying to be funny.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, do you recognize it as a joke, though?
No, I don't.
So you think that she was seriously scared that Lance was going to?
Was she talking about him or me?
I'm pretty sure she said Lance.
I thought she was talking about me. No, she doesn't know his name, but okay. Oh, she does Lance.
Yeah.
I thought she was talking to me. I got
So
confused.
now is it a joke?
I still don't get why she means that about Lance, but okay. Fine, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Lance looks like he carried a big dick.
Well, why would she be scared of that?
Because she's trying to make a joke. Maybe she's trying
I
to
think
flirt with
it's a
Lance.
rape joke, is what it is. She thinks he's gonna rape her, which is stupid.
It could be a rape joke.
Why would she even put that on him like that?
Because she's telling jokes.
She's not a fucking comic.
She's trying to be funny, though.
Not at the time, but fine.
People like to be funny.
I know they do. I do too, but that's not her time. But okay.
Yeah, it's not her time on stage. So, but only comics can try to be funny.
No, but not when. Forget it. Keep going.
I would honestly, you could argue yes very easily that only comics should be trying to be funny.
In life?
at
Mike.
At a comedy show.
Oh, I thought you meant
on
that
the
non-comics
stage.
shouldn't try to be funny ever in their life. No, that's not true. But if you talk about it at a mic, I mean, you know what? I wouldn't say that in general, but I would say that when it's clearly bothering the person on stage, if they're playfully bantering with you, but if they're clearly genuinely upset like I am, then you shouldn't do it.
I mean, they don't know the rules of comedy.
That's not the rules of comedy. It's just human being a human.
Yeah, but also, like, I can't argue both sides here, but I do feel like, they're trying to be funny.
I said that. I'm just saying it's not the time. But okay.
Yeah, but
what if we're at a funeral and your sister, I don't know, not you specifically, but someone's fucking sister died, and then the guy doing a eulogy is like it's not the time unless they ask for that beforehand.
Me personally, I would respect it.
But most people wouldn't like that.
Yeah, of course not. But
So-
I'd be laughing.
Okay, but she doesn't know whether I'm that kind of person or not. So if you
Yeah,
don't
but
know, you shouldn't do that.
But comedy is in the attempt at the joke. It's not in the joke.
But she's not a
itself.
comedian. All right, play.
But,
Go ahead.
Yeah,
play.
but so
I don't care about this lady. Just
so
play.
yeah, so okay.
By the way, I saw her again like a couple months ago, and I didn't realize it. And then I was doing my set, and I'm like, wait a second, is that the one that everybody who was there started laughing, and she started laughing, and she was like, "Don't let me derail you now, Dennis. We know how it went last time." And then I'm like, oof. And then she left the room, and I was like, fuck, where was I? He actually did like give me some PTSD.
It sounds like she is a comedy.
She's not a comedian.
She's funny though.
Play the video. Now they're not letting me talk. That's someone else that said that.
I could tell there's two different voices.
Duh. That one's saying don't listen to her. But that was disrespectful of her. She's trying to help, but it's not helpful.
That sentence right there is specifically why I don't want people trying to help me at all.
Right, but with the thing with, all right, but Lance is different because he's not like he does not like do comedy all the time, but he does do this thing, so he knows how comedy works. She's just a random person, and I know Lance also, whereas I don't know her.
So I think you're in here, you're literally critiquing everyone but yourself in this situation. Like
No, I did stuff wrong, but there's no way I could have. Well, I don't know what I could. I guess what I could have done is just got out there and not said anything, and after a while it would be like, why isn't he saying anything? And then that's what I've heard some people recommend.
that is something that I've used to do a lot.
Because I don't know what else I would. I mean, I could have if I didn't go on stage right away. Like, I don't care what you say. Fuck you. I'm trying to control my anger. If I didn't do that, I could have just gone with the jokes. But if I did that, it wouldn't have been this big eruption. But also, nobody would have listened to my jokes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I could have saved myself the headache and the heartache and the fucking misspent emotions and aggravation. But I wouldn't have had a good set though. Which sometimes, fuck it, you gotta throw it away. But if there's no way to succeed.
Do you think it was possible to have a good set in this situation?
Nobody really did. No, the only people that did are the ones that specifically engaged with those women and bantered with them. Anybody who had like just material or even just crowd work that didn't pertain to them, they were talking over everybody. Oh, and it was 5 of them in a closed space. They're drunk.
I asked you a yes or no question.
I said yes, and see, this was called extrapolating and elaborating. You don't do this, but this is what people do when they have a conversation oftentimes.
Don't tell me what I do or don't do.
I'm saying over text you don't do that.
Okay.
I give you an explanation.
but
I give you better than a yes.
So you actually didn't say yes. You started to say no, and then you realized that it was
I don't remember the
the
question.
wrong answer.
I don't remember the question.
Okay. I asked you if you thought it was possible for you to do well in this situation at all. If it was
Well, it
possible
depends
to
what
have
you
a good
mean.
set.
In the sense of doing better than this, yes. In the sense of doing actually well, no. So it's like, it depends.
So you think if Chris Rock was in this exact same position. Or
it was different because they know who he is, and he has, and it's like a
you
whole unknown Chris Rock.
You think if Chris Rock in whiteface was in this situation, he would have done equally, or he would have done bad? He would have bombed?
I don't know, but it's not just because someone's very talented and successful, they bomb sometimes too. So what are you trying to say, that they wouldn't bomb automatically?
I'm saying I do think it's possible to.
It wasn't. When I say it's not possible, I mean for me it wasn't possible. I don't mean it's not possible for anybody. For me personally, in that moment, it wasn't possible.
So your goal is not to be as good as anybody?
My goal is to be the best me that I can be. I'm not trying to.
My goal is to be the best comedian in the world. Fuck everyone else.
But you don't have the skill at the time to do it, maybe.
But that doesn't mean it's not my goal.
I didn't say it's not my goal. I said it wasn't possible in that moment. Because I didn't have the skill. Maybe in 2 years I will have the skill. At that moment I didn't have the skill, so it wasn't possible in that moment.
But you're here and you're like, this person did this right, this person did that wrong.
I told you I didn't do it right when I first.
No, but I'm saying, but you're not saying like, okay, here's what I could have done better. Here's what
I said if I didn't start off saying fuck you to all of them, I would have done better than I did, but I wouldn't have done well. I would have saved myself a disaster, but it would have been a regular bomb. It wouldn't have been a good time.
Okay, well.
You think you could have done better in this?
Oh yeah.
What would you do?
It's hard to say because I'm not in the moment, but I do think starting with silence until I got their attention, that's something that I've pulled off multiple times, especially since they're teachers. I done hit them with the, oh, that's okay, I can wait.
Yeah,
I done hit them with the stereotypical teacher phrase, and they'd have been
That's
into
true.
it. I might have just talked to them casually until they were listening, and then started sneaking in jokes that were
that might work.
There's a lot of things.
Because also it depends if the goal is to get them to stop heckling. No. If the goal is to
have a good set in this situation.
See, so that's the difference. To get them to stop talking, maybe, but would you still have a good set though? That's so you don't know. Like it's two different things, kind of.
Yeah, I'm saying I could have done both.
But also, no, I guess you're right. Yeah, all right, fine, all right. Well, I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking to Dennis from a year ago or
a year, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking to Dennis today.
It's just the way you phrase it. It's like when you said, could you have done better, that implies that Dennis from a year ago. So Dennis from a year ago could not have done better. Dennis from today could have done better. So yes.
Well, I think it's obvious that Dennis from a year ago did the best that Dennis could do.
Okay,
I'm not saying that you went on stage and intentionally sabotaged yourself.
Right.
But I'm saying I look at my sets all the time and I'm like, I could have done better. There's other things that
I got confused by the wording, but when you word it like that, yes, I could have done better. Yes.
Okay.
That's kind. All right, whatever. It's kind of like going to a third grader. Like, you think you could have done better with this algebra problem? Well, not when he was in third grade, but now that he's 25, maybe. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Sorry, you got it.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
All right. So there you go.
I just like, man, I go, what would Chris Rock do? And she goes, what would Dave Chappelle do?
He would call you all trannies and fucking leave. I don't know. No disrespect. I'm just saying because he does a lot of that content.
Okay. They are rooting for you. They do want to hear a good
Well, it didn't
joke.
sound like it.
They're saying you can do it, Jet Dennis.
Thought it was sarcastic. Look, Benny, if...
That was not sarcastic.
Well, who said it? The one girl that said it, that was a fellow comedian. Or did one of those hecklers say it?
I don't know who said it, but I do... It sounded like it was one of the hecklers.
Okay.
It could have been a fellow. I don't know
Here's
who's
the
in
thing.
the room. But
In that moment, I'm already heated, so I don't know if they're serious or not. If they've been roasting me before.
I'm not even sure if you heard him or not.
I think I did hear that, but I just thought they were... when you're in the moment, like, you don't just snap out of it in 2 seconds. You're already in the mind state that I gotta fight everybody.
But also, your mindset should be that, yeah, I can do this, whether they're sarcastic or not.
You're right, but
in my opinion,
you're right about that. But I might be different now. At the time, if someone were to be sarcastic to me, I didn't want to let them get away with it without getting back at them first. That was my mindset at the time.
Oh, so what? So you're about to go roast whoever just said
No,
that?
not like that, but just like I wasn't about to let them say that and not address it, basically.
So you're about to address that? Is
No, I don't. I just the whole set I'm addressing everybody, being like possibly what I think is negative, but basically I don't remember what I did exactly. Sorry, go ahead.
you're okay. I'm not asking you to have perfect retard, but anytime you make a declarative statement like that, I'm like, okay, well, we have to prove.
Well, sometimes I just say it based on what I wish I would have done.
Okay.
So that actually did well.
Yeah.
But I was too far gone. So I thought that was sarcastic. Well, yes. Being technical right there. Yeah. Yeah, smart. Good math. She's right. I think it was a racial joke. Not about them, but I think I'm calming down a little in the video.
Yeah.
Learning spit. Now I'm getting annoyed again. Because she's trying to act like she's trying to help me.
She is trying to help you.
But it's not her place. And it's very arrogant. Here's the thing. She doesn't know me. She's not behaving appropriately to how you behave in comedy. She doesn't know me. And she's acting like she's going to fucking teach me something. It's not her place to do that. Like, you can't just walk up to a random person. Like, it seems very arrogant and condescending. Like, it basically makes it seem like she's somehow superior to me, that she needs to teach me. And and I'm not her student. So that's not, do you get how that could be condescending?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not her place, but she is also trying to help you.
But I thought at the moment that people use that as an excuse. A lot of people will say some really mean shit and they're like, well, I'm just trying to help you. But they're not. It's just an excuse for them to say mean shit and act like it's all good. And they're maybe lying to themselves. But in reality, they're not helping. They want us to be mean and then say that I'm trying to help you as an excuse.
I can't speak to those other experiences, but I can say this girl's just drunk. It's her birthday. She's
the other thing. I'm tired of.
And she just, she's just trying to enjoy the show, and she sees you up there struggling. She was rooting for you. She laughed at the one joke that you had so far.
It's hard to tell.
You were killing for a moment. And also, yes, it's hard to tell, but me personally, as a comedian, I feel like that's a bad excuse, because it's your job to be able to tell in the moment and react in the moment. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, you won't always be good at it, but you should be trying to improve at it. And
I am trying to improve it.
Well, it sounds like you're making excuses for why it was difficult.
It's a reason. A reason and an excuse are not the same thing.
Excuses are like assholes. Everybody has.
No, I think you just got this idea that like you can't admit that you're bad at something, or not that you're bad, but like you maybe you're a perfectionist or something. But like sometimes it's okay to admit that you fucked up, or not even just that, but like. There's a reason why people might fuck up at something. It doesn't not an excuse.
It's okay to admit that you fucked up. You're not admitting you're fucked up. You're giving reasons for why you fucked up, aka excuses.
But what if there are legitimate reasons?
That's fine. But there's also, you can do better.
I didn't say I couldn't.
But you're focusing on the excuses and not on what you could have done.
Because in that moment.
Because of the excuses.
No. You're like fucking. You sound like one of these like Dr. Phil or something.
I resent that, but
no, like you gotta stop making excuses for yourself and do this. Yeah, but I got this. Don't matter. You gotta. It's like yeah, you're right, but like at the same time, you can acknowledge that certain things weren't in your favor. Like, and it's not an excuse. It's just the truth.
Just because something's not in your favor doesn't mean that.
Bro,
I am acknowledging things weren't in your favor. It's obvious.
Here's the thing.
In your favor.
I was doing comedy at this point for about less than 6 months, so it's like you're saying all these things what a comedian should do, but they're not gonna do it immediately.
I'm also just giving you my opinion. I do think in 6 months they could, and it's also like this is me. This isn't a personal attack on you as a comedian but I'm saying when I review footage off a tape, this is how I look at it and how I think it. It could be me up there. It could be Chris Rock up there. It could be Kramer from Seinfeld up there.
Well,
I'm gonna look at it the same way.
I get it, but you gotta be fair. You gotta be fair.
I'm being.
Now you are.
I'm not even that. Yes, it's a bad situation, but I'm not gonna look at like, oh, wow, it's a bad situation, so they should have just crumbled, or it's okay that they just crumbled. I'm just saying, hey, in an ideal world, or if you were perfect, you should have done this.
Correct.
And instead of acknowledging that, you'll just focus
because of how you say it. Because it's like, here's the thing. This is how I would say it. No, not even that. It's like. I don't remember.
Well, I'm not a fan of you tone policing me right now.
I'm not policing you. I'm telling you why I react the way I do to certain things. You don't want to listen to that. That's fine. But I'm telling you why I react a certain way. So you don't like how I react. I'm explaining why I react that way. That's for you to decide whether you care about that or not. But that's the reaction that is triggered. Okay.
I'm gonna hit play.
Go hit play. Why did I keep it going? I don't remember why I kept. I should have just left. Oh. See this whole thing. No, I'm just nothing. It's just.
Yeah. So they wanted one more joke.
Well, I didn't have one. I wasn't prepared. Like I was messed up.
I mean, obviously, yes.
Yeah. So there you go.
But okay.
A perfect comedian would have kept telling jokes. Yes, they would. Okay.
Yeah, I felt like it went without saying, and there wasn't a way to say it without being mean.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't think it would have been mean to say, but
it's not mean. It's just like unnecessary. It's like you know what I mean. Like it's like
I think
great.
The excuses
you say the
are
opposite.
unnecessary.
No,
I feel like podcasting in general is unnecessary.
No, I don't mean it like that.
We're creating.
That's not what I mean.
We're having a conversation. It's wild how now everything I say is unnecessary.
No.
But then when it's like, I don't think it's necessary to text more than yes or no.
I'll tell you, because necessary implies what the goal is. If we're just trying to improve, you're trying to like tell me how to improve as a comedian, certain things you're saying are not going to help me improve, so they're unnecessary for that goal. A podcast is just the goal is just to bullshit and talk and have fun. So it's not as specific as to what's necessary, what's not. That's why the difference is. So if you're trying to say like, oh, this is what I'm telling you as advice to help you, certain parts of that are not helpful, so they're not necessary because they're not going to serve that purpose. That's what I mean.
Did you tell one more joke?
I don't remember. I think I tried it and I fucked up and then I said something and I left the stage. I don't remember.
The audience is really excited to hear.
I know they are. I'm so sorry I let them down.
I want to see what happens. I'm glued to the.
Let's see.
I've got a whole seat, but I'm only using the edge right now.
Okay. We'll pretend that's true. That was Akash saying that.
Okay.
Think about your wife.
Yeah.
I like Lance. See? Good guy. She's trying to say she's being constructive.
She was.
It's not constructive if it's not received well. If you're constructive, you're going to say it in a way that's going to be received well. If you say it in a way that's not received well and you don't adjust how you're saying it, it's not constructive. Constructive implies that it helps, it makes a difference, it makes an impact. If what you're saying clearly isn't getting through to the person that you're saying it to, it's not constructive.
It's up to you to receive it well and make it constructive.
But it's up to her to say it in a way that I will receive it well, if she wants me to receive it well.
Well, you can control.
I know.
You can't control her.
I know that. I'm just saying that she's not being constructive. That's according to the definition of the word. She's not being.
I think that was very constructive.
So if a teacher, so if you're a teacher, you're trying to.
I'm not saying that she was efficient or effective at being constructive.
Well, I think constructive has to do with effectiveness.
I think the intention was constructive.
Okay, her intention was constructive. I can acknowledge that, but the execution of it was not constructive.
Well, that's unfortunate. Oh no, that wasn't as bad as you were making it out.
Well, because at the time when I was in it, it felt horrible. It fucked with me for like 4 days after. Like I couldn't get over it.
Well.
So I guess I remembered it worse than it was.
Yeah, now that we've rewatched it.
It's not as bad. No, it's not as bad. And I realized in some parts I might have taken it negatively when it wasn't. But here's the thing. When you start out on a negative tone, it's very hard in that moment to just switch. Like, if you get on stage or anywhere in your life and you feel like you're being attacked from all angles, it's very hard midway through that to be like, you know what, maybe they're not attacking. Like, it's hard. It's the heat of the fucking moment. It's fucking almost impossible. Whether or not you show it is a different story, but as far as like how you feel about it, yeah, in that moment, how are you gonna fucking in a second just? It's like if you're already wound up, it takes time to unwind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean.
Yeah.
A perfect comedian would just tell jokes.
Why you say that? And here's the thing: even the most famous and successful ones have times when they fuck up, and not even fuck up, but when the audience gets to them. And some of them turned, like Bill Burr, he turned it around. You seen the rant he did?
Yeah, he told jokes.
No, I know, but I'm saying he was clearly pissed off at them, right?
Yeah, but he used that energy and told jokes.
Well, I'm sorry I'm not Bill Burr after half a year of comedy in this video, right? I'm sorry. I should have been fucking perfect from the start. I mean, okay, you're right. But again, that's not constructive. But alright. See, that wasn't constructive. It's like, alright, that's true, but how does that help me? But whatever, fine. I know you were just joking. It's fine. I'm just whatever. I'm in that mood of what I said earlier. When you're already wound up, it's hard to just click it off. So that's what this is.
Tell me a joke.
I don't have what? What do you mean? A stand-up joke?
A joke.
Why don't stand-up jokes don't hit when you're telling it to someone next to you?
Tell me a joke.
Fine. Okay. You ever see a movie and you just feel like one of the characters really just gets you? You can just, they really know what you're going through. They can relate to you. Like, I saw this movie the other day. Like, struggling stand-up comedian with, like, a really theatrical personality that was misunderstood by his peers a lot. It just really spoke to me. So, basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you haven't already, go see the new Joker movie. But I mean, it's funny in context. It's not like a street. It's funny, like, if they know who I am. It's funny.
Yeah.
I don't have I'm not going to go, oh, why did the rabbi and the priest walk into the blood? Like, I don't have anything like that.
The point of street jokes is everybody has street jokes, even if you can't think of one on the spot.
Well, I can look it up, but I can't think of it on the spot.
You should know a few, but it's also like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like.
You tell me a joke.
I think that right now you are being extremely calm.
You're being sarcastic.
Sarcasm is a form of humor.
Well, I've been sarcastic a lot, but I got one joke, but I don't want to say it on air. But
that's fine.
All right, I'll just say this setup, and you tell me if it gets the punchline. What do you call an Asian man wearing chainmail?
A chink in armor.
In the armor, yeah. There you go. So.
Yeah.
It's just whatever.
It is. End the episode out.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing it almost 3 hours, yeah.
Well.
That's good. I mean, I'm just, yeah.
Alright, but,
Manny and Dennis versus the rest of the world. This time it was Dennis versus, like, the other time it was Manny with